That's my line.
And we're live. Hey, everybody.
He actually gave us a countdown and everything.
I
We don't
did.
normally
I
do
did.
that.
I was like doing the numbers, and y'all were like starting new threads, and I was like, well, I'm clicking buttons. Mm.
The name of the rando bad guy we fight this evening to be Jenkins.
But like with a couple E's.
Yeah, that's exactly what you do at the end of a chapter is introduce a whole new bad guy.
He's just standing on the mountainside menacingly as we pull away.
That's right.
For his
That's right. With
revenge.
his like
Nice.
onyx
That's how you
black
pay it
cyber
out.
eyes.
It's the version of the black just standing in front of the train tracks, not letting us by until we duly.
Yeah,
Oh
he's
my
gonna get me.
goodness. All right, so hey everybody, welcome to the show. Tonight we are playing Cyberpunk Red. This is High Shelf Gaming. I'm David, and I am joined. I'm gonna point to the folks that are like off camera today. That's Mike playing Oz, Casey playing Vinton, and GSSG playing Ta. They're the no camera crew, and my two brave camera folks are Ethan playing Silas and Katrina playing Dr. Violet. So real quick to talk about some announcements. High Shelf Gaming is staying busy. I've finally wrapped up editing on our next podcast episode. That's going to go out tonight or tomorrow. And recording new episodes and getting all that stuff done. So the podcast is like lighting up again. Finally, I feel so good about that. And if that wasn't enough, Tuesday, we're going to be playing our first game of Werewolf the Apocalypse, which is a game that I started playing as a wee lad back at the age of like, I don't know, 13, 14. It's my first role-playing game. So I've been playing it for 20-something stupid years. And it's going to be a nostalgic look back for me. I really can't wait to play it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We start that on Tuesday night, 8 Eastern, I should say. We have some new players in there, folks who have not played with HSG before, and we've got some of our like classic tried and true members as well in that game. And the players don't know it yet, but we're going to start off with a pack dream or vision, and y'all will all experience shared visions, and we'll see how that goes. That'll be cool. Yes. So yeah, Werewolf the Apocalypse is going to be awesome on Tuesday. And then following that, we are going to be playing Blades in the Dark on Wednesday, because we can't get enough games around here. Super stoked about that. Ethan, do we have an announcement yet? Do we have a date?
Yeah. We'll rock it on Friday.
Friday, this coming Friday?
Yeah, I don't know exactly what we're doing yet, but we'll do something.
Okay, so this coming Friday, we're starting another game. Ethan, can you describe the other game we're starting?
Oh man, so it is a game that I've lovingly named Horrific Spooky Gaming, and it's just kind of a horror kind of hodgepodge, cosmic horror ultimately, but what kind of form that takes can be, I don't know. We might be Scooby doing it up. We'll see.
I can't wait. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. Like,
So excited for next week.
I know. Next week we're going to be playing 4 games, right? And if I get what I want tonight when we wrap up Chapter 2 for a Cyberpunk Red game, I'd really like the next couple of weekends to be like little like vignettes into the lives of Night City that we are returning to. So we get like ourselves a little glimpse into the world of Night City as we've been gone. Give the audience a little look at little updates, like in the long running series where they say last time on the show, and then they like go back and remind you about some past characters and some past situations. That's what I want to do. So we have some planning to do around that, but I really want, when we come back to Cyberpunk Red, to really not take a break in streaming, but we'll have like middle episodes that aren't really the chapter, but are setting the stage for Chapter 3 kind of thing.
Doing the filler episodes.
That's right. We're going to do the beach episode. We're going to do the whatever the
Crossover episode.
crossover
Flash
episodes.
Flash.
That's right.
Blade.
Everybody not going into the ocean because they're filled with technology.
That's right.
Acid.
They're all get all rusted. Yeah, we're gonna do that episode where we just do all flashbacks, right? Isn't that what you were saying, Katrina? It's all flashbacks.
All
Yep.
flashback.
Yep. Exactly.
Next week and Sunday, we're playing is a Sunday game.
Oh, that's a Sunday game. Oh, even better. That's gonna be good.
That's FYI.
That's going to be good. I think that means that Saturday I'm doing something with John the Wise. I need to double check with him because I think that we had tentatively something on the plan to do a thing on Saturday. So I'll announce that on the Twitters and the Discords and Facebook when I confirm with him. Yes, I am so excited for next week. We're going to be so busy. My wife is going to hate me. She's going to be like, what are you doing? Spending all this time playing these games. Can't wait. All right. So, friends.
Kelly knew what she was getting into.
She
Yeah,
did.
even.
She is so supportive of HSG. It's ridiculous, you guys. It's just awesome. Let's move you all to Sacramento.
Why?
So,
Do we have-
yeah, so, oh, you know what? That's so cute. I have the, truck and everything way over here. Let's make it big. I think it's all to do. Yeah, boom. Big. All right. So here we go. Sayforth is gone. He's way up over at the Peoples. And then yes, you're all crooked. There we go. I made all of you crooked because I'm so smart. All right, we're gonna undo all this. Okay, cool. So you are all back at Roy's Chexican. We have ditched the armored car, right? We left it with a family member, said burn it and make your way back home, kind of thing.
Yep.
I feel like that's right. So delete. Okay, cool. I love deleting y'all's assets. There's something just so satisfying as a GM about taking things away from the group. I'm not. That's not actually how I feel.
Well,
Now, if you just stop referring to us as assets, we would be great.
We are human beings, sir.
Some of you. Some of us.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
what are the rest?
There's
of
one or
you?
two of us that, well,
Mm-hmm.
What are they? What are they then?
Y'all's names are not showing up again. This is so frustrating. I wish that Roll20 would just know that I always want your names a showing. And I don't know how to make that always happen. So I'm just gonna go through here and click everything. Oh, Casey, I forgot to update Vinton's photo. You have a new photo for Vinton. I will get that in there. So that'll be his chapter 3 photo. All right, we're wrapping up chapter 2 with his shotgun over the shoulder and his crazy curly Q Jared shooting off to the side. This is the end of his chapter 2 photo. So folks, rip one for that, and we're gonna have a new photo for Vinton in chapter 3. So yeah, let's pick up where we left off. Y'all had dropped off Sayforth, right? Oh, was there an item?
I was wondering if we could talk about the screamer sheets.
Oh my gosh, yes. Thank you so much. Scream sheets. We have scream sheets that I need to put into this. I've neglected to put it up on the thing because I'm a terrible human being. There it is.
We can put it up at break.
Yeah. Well, so we have awesome scream sheets. Again, Jagos is going above and beyond the Call of Duty and has made for us more media. I'm going to move that off to the side. Made a first page for a newspaper, and then Katrina, you wrote a big article for the second page of Smud News, and we're going to do that right quick as a handout.
Gotta put that composition skill to use.
That's right. That's
that
right.
I put points in.
Smud News. Let's get that up. All players be edited by no one. Drop in that.
It is written in stone.
That's right. So with Smud News, oh, that's the second page. Whoops. Well, I'll just put page 2. Save that. And we'll have that up on screen in just a second here. I'm going to make a new... Are you all seeing the New handout, Smud
Yes.
News. All right.
I see the handout, yeah.
Okay. Page 1. All players. Yep. Folks, this is how Roll20 works. This has been a great episode of Here's How to Use Roll20 to make handouts. So, yeah, I'm going to toss these up so we can all give them a gander while we're chatting and setting things up, setting the stage. Hey, Jagos, welcome back. Welcome back. All right. So, we are... Let's recap a little bit. Y'all went into Sacramento underground, so you didn't have to like worry about clearances and all that kind of stuff after so many of our IDs got burned.
So much good, talented work put to waste.
Your great forgery skill ruined here. So you all went via the tunnels, the trash tunnels underground, into the headquarters to grab Sayforth. You did so. Sayforth fought, kind of. He gave Silas a bit of a run for his money, but was ultimately captured. And you all had to remove one of his arms to pay a toll. There was a gang that was doing some controlling the entrances and exits for you all, and they wanted 25% of whatever you were taking, and an arm was deemed 25%. It was a good arm, too. It had, like, you know, is like all cybered up and everything. You guys gave him the tracker arm, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. And so that gang is now one arm richer. You all have successfully taken him out of Sacramento, but that initiated a police chase with a SMUD AV4 hovering above, providing information about your location, and some cars showed up. Y'all gave chase. The tire shredders on the back of the armored truck did their work, really slowed up the pursuit vehicles, but at the end of that, there was a roadblock that you all shot your way through. And that was a lot of fun, right? We almost died, they almost died, and a bunch of cars were wrecked in the process, which is mayhem and wonderful and glorious. After all that is done, you brought Sayforth back to the Big Iron Gang in their mountain hideout, where they've got their giant train of steel and all these other trains they've been stealing, right? They've got your train that you've been waiting to get and like 3 more trains from other people that didn't know that the route into Sacramento was closed. And all of those people were pressed into service or killed, whatever was necessary. And now Big Iron Gang has this huge long train under this mountain. You delivered Sayforth minus another arm, right?
Yes.
Who has the arm?
I do.
Todd
Dangling
does.
from my belt.
We're negotiating parts of the arm right now between me and Ta. Ta has the arm and Vi has the hand.
Good.
Blade arm.
Good. So real quick, I want to just check in the chat. Are all of our volumes okay? I'm a little worried that... Oh, you know what it is? I think it's my own volume is bad. Let me fix that. There we go. And so, yeah, you have an arm, and then there was also the auto dock, right? Vi has that.
Yep.
Okay. The auto dock was taken. Prior to that, though, all of the charges for the auto dock were removed. So you have a functioning auto dock that doesn't have any medication in it.
Yeah, I have an idea forming, but it will probably be through the IC chat or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, through our in-character stuff. That was a
Watching
Go ahead.
watching the divvying up of the body parts is probably the most disturbing game of Uno I've ever seen.
Parts is parts, man.
Fucking Tata
Winner of
he
this
was
game
a-
of Uno gets the hand.
If you forget to say Uno, do you have to like take 2 fingers back or something? Or
Drop
what is
four.
I get
the-
that back. Chop.
Sayforth would be horrified to see you all playing like Uno with his body parts.
Oh,
Horrified.
that's something Tom would do in front of him to make sure that he knows, like, hey, I have your arm.
Yeah.
Like
Give
the
up.
card?
I'll see your ring finger and raise you a pinky and a thumb.
Yep. Welcome to Cyberpunk, folks, where parts are parts and bodies are parts.
All
So,
apart.
yeah. And since then, there's been a lot of news in the local press about Sayforth being Scaven, about the chase and the injuries incurred, that Jim Davies was brought in for questioning because Jim Davies, who is in SMUD on the refining end, refining for the ethanol that everybody uses, this like really high octane plant-based fuel that Cyberpunk runs on, called CHOOH, or Chew. I think it's called Chew. I don't know. Somebody can correct me
Choo-choo.
with the Chew 2. Maybe somebody can correct me that it's not pronounced Chew 2. I've been playing this game 20 plus years. I've never known how to pronounce this. So if somebody out there like has heard Mike Pondsmith's honeyed voice tell us how to call the fuel, I want to hear that soundbite so I can do it correctly. But for right now, it's Chew 2.
Is
That's
it
what they're
like?
calling it in Cyberpunk 2077 is Chew.
Okay.
Choo-choo.
I
Yeah.
feel like it's the equivalent of the Shadowrun elf city names that no one pronounces right, and
Perfect. I like this. So, yes. So Jim Davies was brought into questioning because he and Sayforth were fighting it out. Some bad stuff went down in Sayforth's office that the Midnight Runners were involved in, and Jim Davies was trying to save his career and life. And then all of a sudden, Sayforth disappears. Like, isn't that convenient that your rival disappears in the middle of your inner company fight? And so, apparently, by all reports, Jim Davies has been released and is no longer considered a suspect, given the situation. But still, tensions are high in Sacramento right now. Very high. You all have laid low for a couple of days over at Roy's Chexican Motel Cafe. Oh my god. Yep. And so here's our two great handouts of Smud News. Thank you, Jagos, for putting this together. Thank you, Katrina, for writing this awesome article. All of this is available in our Facebook group and on our Discord and on Twitter. I think I posted all this stuff too. So very easy to find these things. I love this kind of stuff to like do little updates between sessions. Like this is just so powerful. This is so cool. I love this kind of stuff. As a GM, it like warms my cold heart that like people are making things for the game that I'm running. Like as it like that feels really good. It feels really like when somebody shows up with a drawing or like a like a newspaper article they wrote or something like that's just awesome. Like that's just really cool material for the game. I just love every little piece of it. So
Appreciate.
thank you guys.
You could lay off, Jagos. If you could like lay off the awesome. I didn't mean to hurt his nephew.
You don't want to bring up you don't want him bringing the Duke back into the picture?
I mean, the man's got enough reason to kill me.
That's
Like,
weird.
we don't need to keep.
Why?
We don't need to keep stacking. We don't need to keep stacking on the reasons he's got enough. He's got plenty of reasons.
He does. I love that part.
Appreciate you, Jagos. Appreciate you.
All right. So you're all at Roy's Chexican. Do I have a picture of Roy's up here? I don't. You know where I have a picture of Roy's? I have a picture of Roy's here at Legend Keeper. So this is Roy's Chexican Motel Cafe situation. Oh, I clicked off of it because I'm the smarty pants. Yeah. Make that nice and big. There we go. So you're all here. I'm sorry, I switched over to Legend Keeper for the stream, but you're all at Roy's, and you've been kind of licking your wounds. I think Silas got a little jacked up. Ish. Okay. Was anybody else?
A couple days, he's good.
Yeah. Was anybody else injured?
I got shot a couple times.
Okay. Oh, that's right, because the roadblock, they shot at you plenty.
Yeah.
Good.
the rest of us in the back of the truck were great.
Yeah, y'all were in like a big metal box, like.
Yeah, if those last
seat
couple
and
of
a seatbelt.
shots, if those last couple of assault rifle shots hadn't have missed, I'd have been gone. Like,
No, we wouldn't have. I would have been right there.
I mean, I would have been 0 hit points. I might not have died, but I would have been down for sure. I had like 15, 20 left, something like that.
It would have been kind of poetic if at the end of chapter 2 Silas was put into the red.
Hey, we're not done yet.
It's true.
Well, Vinton was in the cab of the car with him.
Yeah,
Right
like
next to him.
Yeah.
PTSD
That's
all
deja
like
vu.
Oh my
that's
In the
god.
just
worst way.
not
Why
needed.
didn't I make them hit him? Why didn't I do that?
I don't know. Why do you want to torture my
Because logically,
character,
it makes
David?
no sense to shoot the driver.
Oh. Why didn't I do that? Oh man, GM regrets. GM regrets. Okay.
Oh,
So,
don't worry. We got a solid 2.5, 3 hours left to go tonight. It can still happen.
so here at Roy's, we are. I think the last kind of thing that y'all were trying to wrap up was getting the family ready to move. Because Big Iron Gang is effectively ready to roll when you show up. Now you're all in cars and trucks, like semis, and you've been kind of packed. Really, you've really been packed this whole time. Like people have living quarters set up and enough food out to like kind of get by, but they've all known that this is a temporary situation, so they've not fully set up camp. They've got like the necessities, but anything that could have stayed on the trucks and in the trailers or in the containers stayed. So the family is more or less ready to roll. What do y'all want to do with your time here?
Well, we have to take the train that we have over and get the other stuff at some point.
Where is that train? In my headcanon, it's back where you had parked it north of Sacramento on the way to Big Iron Gang.
I think because we had it parked really close by where we were. Remember, it was pretty close. I think we found another spot that we could pull off and hide it.
Okay.
And we've had guards there with it because we always did that because it would be stupid not to. So, but I don't know where exactly that is. I'm just sure we found some place to move it to.
Okay. So it has been moved, maybe further north, more away from town, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's less important for it to be so close to Sacramento now, and you left, I don't know, 4 family members there, right? Just so they can do like kind of camp out, kind of do hunting on their own and guard it. 4 seems like a fair number.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can call and check in every couple hours. And yeah.
Probably not every couple hours. Like that's a lot. But they definitely called in like a couple of times a day.
Well, yeah, a couple times a day.
So they so yeah, let's place the train just so we've got it in our headcanon. I'm gonna close out these guys. I'm gonna say that your train is there's Stay Forth, pretty little mug. I'm gonna this line right here is the rail line going north. It's at least on this part of the road, it's north of the highway. There's a point where it dips going south of the highway, where the rail and the road cross. And I want to say right here, I see the rail kind of diverting. So maybe up around there, you've got it stashed in some like old industrial park that is mostly abandoned at this point.
Yeah.
And so it's up there somewhere, further away from town, kind of thing. So yeah, we know where your train is. What are y'all? And that is just so we kind of have it in our head. Roy's Checkskin is here. There are back roads that lead that way, but all the highways would drag you through Sacramento's walls. So if you wanted to go directly to the train, you'd have to take some back ways, kind of thing.
Yeah. But as far as Oz is aware, the only thing we have left to do is get the train and get the hell out of Dodge, right? Is there anything else we got to do?
We gotta make sure that Roy is coming or not, and if so, that he's set up to come. So we could have that conversation first, and then we could skip over to the Big Iron Gang and get our train and get moving.
Yeah.
I'm into that. All right, so let us see how early Roy's business contacts are. Okay, cool. So, yeah, y'all had a number of days. I think it was like a week and a half on the outside that Roy's people were going to show up and get their protection money, basically. And they haven't shown up yet, so that's good. Roy has been kind of busy making preparations and talking things over with Dexy and that kind of thing. He seems pretty amenable to leave. I think the only real question is the logistics of getting all of his necessary items to where y'all can transport his stuff. You have enough stuff to move your family's possessions, but not really enough to move your family's possessions plus Roy's Chexican motel cafe with the sign and the kitchen and the secret recipes and the really crazy secure network.
Putting his stuff on the train,
It was brought up at one
like because
point.
we had like extra like train space.
Yes, but between here and the train is a trip. So do you all want to do this in 2 trips, or do you all want to do this, gain additional cargo capacity in some way to do everything in 1 trip?
I say that our nomad makes a call and gets more trucks, and we do this once because we need to move Roy as soon as possible because we don't know when those people are going to show up.
Yeah, I would definitely be making calls to try to get other trucks. Maybe if you make me roll for it, it would be a luck roll, but maybe some of my family members from my old tribe are driving through because that's how we got hooked up in the first place. And maybe I can divert some of their trucks.
Let's do your moto. Let's roll your just straight a d10 plus your moto to see what kind of... Y'all have reputation out here now. Y'all have a reputation of 3 in and around the Sacramento area. That does translate to the other tribes hearing about you. So let's do your moto plus 3 to see if there's anybody out there willing to help you move your stuff.
So just roll. Yeah.
So you had is your moto ability a 5?
Yeah, it's a 5.
Okay, so it would have been
9 minus 2?
a 9 minus 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, they're even at a 7. There are people who are willing to do it. It's just they're going to charge you retail rate to move this guy day of. It's not going to be a favor kind of thing. It's gonna cost the family something.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is it possible that we could call up whatchamacallits, the Big Iron Gang? Something tells me they might have a few spare flatbed train trailers. We could hook onto the back of the train of what we are pulling and put a bunch of stuff on that to take the load off the
The
truck.
problem is getting to Big Iron.
Getting to the
Right.
train.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah, there's definitely capacity once you get there. It's just a question
Okay.
of, are you going to pick everybody up and move right now, or are you going to move it in stages?
I would take that info. It's like, I got some people, but they're going to charge us retail by. So,
Charge it to Benny. Let's get the hell out of here.
all right, cool. Then that's what I'll do.
All right.
I'll wire some more money up.
Okay. Yep. Benny reaches into the coffers and sends y'all some cash. and you get another. I'm gonna call it 3 trucks with trailers that can haul the stuff that Roy needs. Right, finding a gas station and some rundown motel space that you can refurb, that's pretty easy. It's all the computers and the kitchen and the plates and stuff. That's the stuff that goes. That's the stuff that gets taken. So so they load all that stuff up into the truck, and yeah, I mean, y'all are nomads. They're nomads too. They're Shiv Rav, so man, they can pack. Formerly Shiv Rav, and so yeah, you get Roy's packed up on these trucks from another family.
As we're packing up, Oz would like to make sure that the most important cargo goes on Benton's truck, and that's his trailer.
I do owe you, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a container, so I'll have somebody else pull my step deck. So, yeah, I'll just hook up to this container direct, pull it. Grumbling, of course.
It's the most important cargo we have.
There's a lot more. I don't know. All the bullets and guns sitting on trailer number 2 seems pretty important too. But yeah, I got you.
My workstation is the most important. Let's get that straight.
It's one of those funky things. Y'all pack all this stuff real dense onto all these trucks, and you can see their beds. They have that upward bow, and they get flat as more and more weight gets on. But Vinton's bed still has that nice high bow to it because it's a big empty container with a bathroom and some meager furnishings inside and all that good stuff.
I think we need to slap a baby on board sticker on Oz's container. The way he talked about that.
Oh,
that's just wrong.
Way ahead of you on that. Way ahead. Just bam.
That's good. That's good. Okay, good stuff. So you all head up to do you go to your train to hook up with that? It makes sense for you to grab those 2 engines and move them.
Yeah.
That's what I was assuming. Okay, cool. So yeah, you all head on up. You go and grab your train is, what is the situation of your train?
The situation is fine. Everything normal.
Sure.
Let's have a pastoral episode to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Let's get a little pastoral tonight.
That's right. So you roll up and you have 2 engines and a computer car, right? The big Netrunner car that has the drone controller and the train senses and all that kind of stuff that form you into a train. You as a Netrunner become a whole train when you're fully jacked into this thing. And you all show up. The little campfire's there. Your 4 little guys are there. Your family members are there. Haven't seen family in days now, and so they're real happy to see you guys. You notice that the engine has new gang tags on it now.
Ours?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You guys gotten bored?
So no. Last night, this tag showed up. Some sneaky kid must have come in here and painted this whole side in this kind of blue and pink stuff. But it looks kind of good, but yeah, we kind of messed that one up.
Can we make it out? What gang this was?
Sure. Somebody can do a local expert. Sacramento.
Oz. I nominate Oz.
All right.
Yeah, maybe the person from Sacramento.
Sacramento.
I would roll a deduction if need be.
Or that. I mean, I can too.
Sure.
Let me get
But
to
I'm a local expert though.
might as well, since I actually have points in Sacramento local expert, let me use it while I can.
Please do. This is your last chance. On your way out the door. 19.
Hey.
Holy smokes. Okay, cool. I did not expect that. I did not. It's cool. Yeah, so The gang that is out here, let's call them. Uh, oh, let's call them. Let's call them the Red Rockets, and they're a bike gang, like uh, motorcycles of all stripes, whatever they can piece together. They roll the kind of northern end of Sacramento. They're out in the wastelands usually. They would not be considered a nomad tribe by any means. They're a legit gang that lives out here in the wastes, and they are out and about. Out here, I guess, tagging stuff, deciding things are theirs, and they decided that this engine is theirs.
Oz is gonna make a comment about that. Like, come on, guys, it's a motorcycle game for crying out loud. You didn't hear the motorcycles drive up?
Yeah, yes, but we were hunting, and when we got back, it was done up like this. I mean, nothing was unlocked. They never got inside, but.
Hmm.
So what I'm gonna do is can of spray paint and toss it to one of them. Is like, get the spraying, because that ain't gonna make it city.
Yeah, take the tags off. Oz, can you run a whole check on the train? Make sure that's not bugged or anything like that. Let's just make sure it's clean before we move through Sacramento.
Yeah.
I'll check over the kids that have been watching the train and make sure that they're healthy.
Sure.
Not shot up, fucked up or anything.
Sure. I guess electronic security, scanner, those sorts of things would be useful here to check for junk that they may have left behind. Okay. So scanning, there's no new networks here. There's no new data nodes or anything like that here.
I mean, they would have to get into the train to do that, right?
No.
Oh.
If you're within 6 meters of the thing, and your train definitely has all those cameras and all that stuff on the outside of the train. That's all there. But odds are you going through your own network. Actually, you should probably dive into your network and check that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to go there, and I'm also going to go through back. I've got cameras all over the damn train, so I'm going to watch and see what they did and how many there were and what.
Okay. So, Oz goes. You go and kind of dedicate yourself to that. That's going to be a significant amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to go back and find that moment, and then watch every angle of them doing their thing and all that stuff. And
see if there's anything fishy happened during that period of time.
Sure. So you're doing that. And then you find that there is indeed a little tracker on your engine. It's on the other side of the engine, away from the tag, but a new object has appeared, and it looks like a little transmitter.
I'm gonna tell Vi about it, and then just give the dirtiest look to those four.
Okay.
Like spray painting it.
Sure. Yeah, they're all sweaty and gross, like working at spraying this tag off, and
you can remove it though, Todd, right? Like no trouble.
I'm assuming I took it off and brought it to her.
Yeah. It's not like a booby trapped thing or anything like that. It's just a hey, we found this engine. Let's see if we can find it again if it ever decides to move.
I'm going to go put it on a tree.
Okay. Cool.
Like close.
Yeah. There's some spruce over there, and you toss it on there.
These four thought they were on crap duty before.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's so much trouble. It's like, you get back, you're gonna get real strong. We got a lot of work to do with cause us a lot of unnecessary problems.
And then Oz, give me I guess a Pathfinder. I'm trying to think of what you would do to look for a virus in your own network. Yeah. I know what to do. I will roll their stealth ability. Okay, cool. Yes, you do find a virus in your network.
I'm gonna kill these kids.
Yeah. So you go through, and it looks like this virus sends a report to that transmitter whenever the train starts moving.
So did they get past my viruses and stuff to plant this?
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah. Whatever security you were there, I didn't know about it, so they got through it.
Oh. Well, when we had talked about it, we had said that the security runs basically like they would have to roll against my whatchamacallit skill, just like I would have to roll against, like when I tried to break into Silas, I had to roll against what's his name's thing. So
Gotcha. Well, then go ahead and, well, no, I mean, canon is it's already done. So
that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
It just means they've got somebody that's pretty good.
Mhm.
I would imagine that
Yeah.
did it, or at least Oz believes they're pretty good, because otherwise they would have never made it through this stuff.
Yeah.
That does mean though that the little spider drone comes out and starts like moving along the train towards these 4 idiots. They planted a virus on my train, comes over the loudspeakers. You just see the little spider thing starts towards these 4 idiots.
Let's concentrate.
One of them sits the can down and starts walking away from the train. Like, hey, I didn't, hey, it's just, we had to go hunting. There's no food for us, so, we got to take care of ourselves, right?
You need 4?
Oz, put it away. Let's just get this done. Untag the car. It'll be fine. I trust Ta and Oz to fix the problem.
Spider just watches disapprovingly.
Just glaring. Just
glaring. So yeah, Oz, there is no footage of them showing up.
This is my unhappy face.
Yep.
You're not on camera anymore.
Yep.
I know. That's the.
Yep. You let's see here. Yeah. You see, it's were they real clever about it? Probably not. It's probably just a big blank spot in the recording. They probably just removed the couple hours that they were here.
How big of a space is missing? How big a period?
Yeah, it would be like an hour and 45 minutes is missing. It would be like almost right after they left to go hunting. Like you see them camping and doing their thing and getting their gear together and walking off as a group to go hunt.
Can I roll a
Sure.
scan the area?
Sure. Awesome.
Cool. 29.
Yeah. I mean, this area is not deserted. There are people that kind of live out here, but no one's giving you any special attention. And you certainly don't have any of these like Red Rocket guys with their like big red bikes. You don't see any of those guys around.
Silas, what is that thing called that you told me about where everyone like takes time to be on watch instead of just wandering off?
You mean doing things in shifts?
Yeah, maybe you could teach the kids about that.
Oh, we said 4, right? So 2 could go hunt, 2 could stay. Something? I don't know.
Maybe we should teach them this stuff before we send them out into the wild again.
That's the thing, Vi. And he'll look over. I did.
They're like, y'all don't understand. It is so boring out here.
That's the point. I'm sorry, hon.
It's like that's just the deal. Like you put us out here, got no food, got nothing going on, no word. We're gonna go get our hunting on and come back. And look, it's just what'd you find? Like a little tracker thing, no big deal. Some paint. We're working on it.
No big deal.
I'm telling Benny when we get home. I'm telling Benny.
Okay.
They're
like, whoa.
I got him. I got him, Vi. It's
whoa. We don't need to tell anybody. It's all good. It's all good.
Let's finish this up, y'all.
Or gets the job done. If you want excitement, we could set someone on fire.
Ta's willing.
I have done plenty of that while we're up here.
I think this is mostly done, and they like put down their cans and go hang out on some other truck away from you guys.
That makes sense.
And they lock the doors. And the guys in the truck hear what they all said, and they like look at y'all like, really?
I am innocent. I am.
Yeah, they look at
innocent.
Oz. They're like, really?
Yeah, really.
And Ta is also. Can we make sure that our tags are clearly covered? Like we do a second look over that to make sure that the guys.
Yeah. You take some time and make sure that it's mostly gone, and you can tell that it was tagged, but it's like that big blotchy block of paint over something. It's like obviously there was a tag there, but whatever was under there is removed. And you all, I assume, load up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Cool.
you just get Vin, but man, I had some cool ideas for this side of the. I got a spray.
Yep.
So much more work.
Good. So you all head over to Big Iron Gang. Let's move the family over to the mountain.
You and Ta should stay with the trucks. Benton.
Yeah, no problem, boss.
So
Silas, you with me?
Yeah.
Um,
David, can we roll my? It should probably be time to roll my like therapy stuff, right? After
been a
because it's
couple
been
weeks.
like 3-4 sessions since we started that.
gotcha. So
I think this is the 4th one since we started it.
So I think this is the 6th day, because 2 of those sessions were basically one long day,
Okay.
right? I'm okay with that. Let's go ahead and roll your therapy. So I think Vi rolls to see if therapy was successful, and then you roll to see how much humanity you gain back off of that effort.
It's not going to be.
I'm
that
looking for
big
the
of a
roll.
difference,
Okay,
but
cool.
Just in case. Just in case. Maybe
think
that
I
one
just-
point will come in handy sometime this session.
Hold on. I need to see what I need to roll. 1 second.
I like Jacobs. I love the kids these days. All right, so while you're looking that up, getting to Big Iron Gang's mountain, right? They're like kind of like under mountain rail yard thing that they've got going on here. You've got Helios meeting whoever shows up. Who is showing up at the door?
Silas Oz and bye.
That's invite. Okay, cool.
Well, I'm in the train, so I'm like backing up to the door.
Right.
Hong Kong Domino's.
Yeah, so the 2 engines and the computer car are rolling down the train tracks. The trucks with all the stuff, I assume, are on the highway up here, kind of shadowing the whole situation.
Yeah, we'll be up there.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you're not going to be on this like gravel road. That would suck. So Helios comes out and kind of waves y'all down as the train slides to a stop.
Before we enter into that, is it my med tech, my first aid, and my tech?
I don't know. I'd have to double check the therapy rules.
Sorry. That's what I think it is, but it could be my tech and my med tech.
Okay.
Sorry for the pause.
Therapy.
But it's probably important to get his empathy up a little.
So
On page 10 or 211.
Yep, exactly. So without reading this aloud into the stream and messing up our stuff, It is a medical tech roll.
Okay, so just my skill and tech.
Uh-huh.
Right? Okay. Brain power.
And a whole bunch of drugs. Great drugs.
Yeah. Just only the goods.
What? No, bad. That wasn't it.
2.
Dang.
You're doing
worse.
successful.
It's not gonna work.
Also,
Oh,
I see that my
Okay.
empathy is supposed to be equal to the tens place of my humanity.
yeah. So
Which
you.
we had been like rounding up, but that's not.
Oh, is it not? It's supposed to be
It's
rounding
rounded
down.
down.
Gross.
So you're at
Gross.
1.
Gross.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
cool.
I was trying to get me to 2.
So hey, it was successful. You now get to roll 2d6 and recover your lost humanity.
Are we doing
7.
standard humanity
Average.
or extreme?
Oh, I was doing standard. Are we doing extreme? Because
What does that mean?
they're both a week, but one is 5 times as expensive on the drugs.
I can afford part of that, Silas.
Yeah, I mean, I can afford it. I don't really care, but I only have 4 more points to gain. I don't know if I want to waste all that money on just 2d6 to gain 4 points.
That's fine. Did it get you over 20?
Yeah.
Okay, then
Yeah,
we're
that got
good.
me.
Awesome.
That got me to. That was perfectly average, so it ended up.
And you're spending the money?
Yeah, how much is it for the
500.
500. Is that for the?
That's for like the drugs for the therapy. I've been
so
tossing a lot of money.
Standard. Wait. Oh, okay, I see.
I've been tossing a lot of money at Speed Hills, so I'm kind of.
Yeah. I'm trying to. So is it the price or is it the? Because there's 2 different prices listed.
Let's go with the.
There's like a 500 and a
The
100. And I don't know
500
which one's
is
which.
500 prices if you have someone else do it, like outside
So
of the
we're
group.
paying for the materials, right? Because someone made a roll.
Right, yeah. So
Actually, 100.
Okay, so that's 100.
the materials are 100, and her time is worth 400. But you're not going to pay her for her time. She's going to gift that to you. It sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much. That's sort of the reason why I'm here.
Okay. Back to the thing. Let's move on. Okay. So the train slows down. You've got Helios out there with the same 2 guards as last time. As the train slows to a stop, and it's Oz and Violet and Silas, right, that are on the train.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Let's zoom in just a smidge. Okay. So let's all imagine there's a train on this map, right? 2 engines and a computer card. And sorry, everybody. Train comes to a stop. Helios is out there waving y'all down. And says, welcome back. You all ready to go?
Yeah, are you guys?
Yeah, we're getting everything hooked up right now. It's going to take a little bit because we have so much to move. We have to shift things, get connected, shift again, get them connected. So this whole area is about to get full of train. Do you want these 2 engines in the front? Feels like they should be in the front.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Mhm.
Well then, we have a loop for you. Come on inside, swing it around, just so your engines are in the front and the computer car's in back. And we got the loop for you to be able to make that happen.
Sure. Oz, while you do that, I'd like to check on Gran after the surgery and everything.
No, I don't think that's necessary. Her doctor is taking care of her. I thought you all were bringing more stuff. Is it just the 3 of you and these things?
More stuff is coming, so
Cargo's on the highway.
It's on the highway. Okay. What is? How much do you got?
how much would Benton have told us that we have? Like,
I mean, you saw it. It was like 6 semis.
trucks.
Yeah.
6 semis full of stuff plus a sign that's on its own trailer. So
So about
Let's be honest. The sign is strapped on top of a thing.
Yeah, we didn't even bother with it. Like, yeah, there's
You
no
got to worry about
laws
DOT
anymore.
up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to worry about that. I don't need no signs.
about 6 carloads.
Semi trailers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're on the highway?
We had to get them here.
Okay.
Can I get human empathy on this dude? Like,
Yeah. Helios is he is like he's ready to go. And so he's kind of miffed that there's this extra logistical step, it seems like, but Helios is kind of in a rush to get things going.
what impression did I get when he was talking about Gran?
Also that he's in a rush. That like she has a doctor, you're not her doctor, and spending the time is not on Helios's plan. And so his plan is to get you all on this train and get this train moving. And spending time doing a doctor visit is not part of Helios's plan. Well, I'll just give you that. Like that's straight up Helios right there. Like there's no Helios isn't going to hide that.
He also said that this was going to take a lot of time to move all of these trains around and shift this stuff. So it's not like Vi is going to help with that. So
I hear you, but that is Helios's logic.
No. Like that's
like I get the legit. I totally get the logical argument you're making, but Helios's logic is I got to get these guys loaded. I got to get this train hooked up. I got to get going. And the idea of spending more time out here is not part of Helios's world. And so everything that sounds like a delay, Helios is going to reject.
My question is, does Helios sound like a guy who's saying, oh yeah, bring your train and all of your stuff into my big mountain facility where I'm going to gut you and steal all of your stuff?
No, that has not ever been part of Helios's, like, y'all have never had that read that Helios was going to gut you guys.
It just is, because he's saying, bring in, and why isn't your stuff all right here? Sounds good to my paranoid eyes or ears, to Oz at least. It's like,
it's fine. Let's just get a move on.
Okay. It seems weird that would be weird, but let's move on.
No, it's fine.
So he says, all right. It's really tough to load from the highway because the rail line it goes. There's a spot where it goes under the highway, but unless we got it to like a rail yard, there's really not a lot of easy ways to get semi-gear, get the equipment over to here. I kind of thought y'all were going to show up on a train with like rail cars hooked up. But that was my fault.
You got our train, sir.
I see it. Yeah. And that's why I was asking, like, where's the rest of the stuff?
No.
The rest of the stuff is here.
Oh, I thought y'all had a whole family worth of stuff that y'all were gonna hook up to us.
In semis.
Okay. Are the semis gonna go separate, or are they rolling, or are we gonna get everybody on the train?
Almost everybody's on the train.
Okay.
Where's the best place for us to load?
All right. So I didn't want to say it, but there is a way. Let me get you all to the other map. Without the
Helios didn't want to say it, or you didn't want to say it?
No, Helios says to himself, there is another way, but I didn't want to say it.
I mean, we've seen a couple of like rail yards and stuff that we could roll into, right, and just have them and load ourselves. We don't need them to load for us.
Sure. Yeah, he says, so if we can go to a rail yard and secure it and get your stuff loaded onto some cars, that would work fine. Also, at the top of this mountain, there is a road. And whoever used to run this facility also used to use that to load things in and out of the mountain. So there's a big, heavy elevator over there and a crane and some comms towers and all kinds of stuff that's just not used anymore. I'm pinging down at the bottom of the map for you all.
Yeah.
Right.
He says, if you can get yourself around there, that could work. Or we can go find a rail yard.
Let me talk to my transport guy.
Okay.
I'm gonna step away and I'm gonna call Vinton, and I will not say his name or anything. Not that
Sure.
he heard it, but whatever.
Yep.
But I will give Vinton what our choices are.
Okay.
And what his thoughts are.
Are you calling just Vinton, or are you getting all of us?
I'll calm everyone, but I'll look like I'm making a phone call.
Oz would say that I mean, we don't necessarily need Big Iron Gang to help us load. I mean, we've loaded on. I mean, I assume we've loaded on and off trains a while. We could just follow the highway until we get to a place and load ourselves. The idea of Vinton and Todd driving down into their facility where they could get spotted makes me a little nervous.
We got drivers.
I can't hear you, Vinton. I can't hear you.
I said, I was like, me and Todd don't necessarily have to drive. We can take it, whatever is the quickest, which I'm thinking the mountain is. We could send our drivers down there. I'll unload the beast real quick or take the beast. It's capable enough that I can follow behind or in front of the train and be active security. And then whatever trucks we have left, the family can take back, like the bobtail.
Okay.
And the trailers. Whatever's quickest. Let's just make Helios happy. I'll stay in the beast. As soon as we're ready to go, I'll come down in front of our train and I'll act as frontward security.
That's probably a really good idea.
Yeah. Just be the scout ahead. That'll be the quickest, easiest way, because all train yards lead back to Sacramento, and I'd rather not have any more time in that city than another hand them paperwork. Get on through.
Okay, then I'll return to Helios with that as the plan. So we're going to use what's here.
Okay. So, just so I have it in my head, Ta and Vinton, who are potentially marked men, are gonna get in the beast and be around. And then family drivers and the 3 trucks you hired, they're all gonna take this back road up to the top of this mountain, and then use the big elevator to bring them back down. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. We'll kind of hand wave through that. You all drive up and around this big, huge loop-de-loop thing, and sure enough, at the top of that is Helios. We'll meet you all up there. To help get everybody loaded and unloaded. Meanwhile, while all this is going, and it's an annoying trek because it's a small road and all that kind of stuff, but y'all can do it. This road has reinforced bridges and all that kind of stuff. Like, this was kind of quietly beefed up pre-Cyberpunk Red, way back in the day, to use this whole hideout for something. And so you three, what do you three want to do?
That leaves us plenty of time to go check on Gran, huh?
I'm gonna be stuck in the train. I've got to turn the train around and get it going the right direction, and make sure nobody plants anything on my train.
Yeah, I mean they are right. They're gonna plant a whole train onto your train.
I mean, like, nothing on, like, no bugs or anything.
I'm just messing with you, dude.
And my little spiders going through the whole thing.
So
I think Silas and I should check on the steel. Like, make a show of checking on our steel, since that was part of the deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I think Silas just tried to push on someone about Gran, right?
Yeah, he's like, oh, since we're waiting around, wouldn't hurt.
So you guys, you kind of follow this loop, Oz, around to get your engines all pointed the right way. And so your 2 engines and computer car would be considered the lead on this whole shebang. And then Violet and Silas, let me just grab just you guys. You all are in here on foot. Your steel train takes up 1-2 bands worth of track, and then they've stolen a couple other trains that are also in the back parking spots of this. And so you go through and inspect the steel. They have unhooked the big gun and those cars that had the sheet metal on them. They've unhooked those and they've tarped the gun. They've like concealed the whole thing and tried to make it look like it's just another boxcar. And done everything they can to try and hide this big giant gun that they've got hooked up to the train. And that is all parked at the end of the last train. They have another engine. They have actually another 2 engines that run around pushing the backs of these segments as they're getting the whole train convoy set up. So they'll move Oz, you, and your engines. Right behind your computer car are a couple more engines, probably 3 more engines. And then they push the first section of the steel into position. And then your whole line goes out of the tunnel. And you sit, most of this day is going to be spent out of the tunnel. But every time they attach more cars to you, your vision goes back into the cave. Because you have sensors and hookups all the way through everything that's connected to your computer car. If that car is sensor equipped, you're going to have some kind of sensation from there, either cameras or pressure pads or vibration sensors or something. And so there's this big logistical hurdle of, and there's like other guys down here like calling shots, trying to get stuff hooked up and trying to get things moved. And it's this huge, like, I don't know, ballet, because all this material needs to be moved. And your steel, as you guys are looking at it, there were 2 cars full of scrap that are emptied now. But all the I-beams are there, and there's still more scrap that's there. Scrap that was intended to be smelted down into like, forged on site or forged near site items. But all the I-beams are present, all of the big stuff that Chrome Oxy really needs, that's all present here. Do you guys, I've never checked in on this, but there are 2 cars missing of scrap metal. Have any of y'all ever checked on that, or is that a curiosity for the crew at all?
I think this is the first time we've heard like details on it.
Okay.
But I think the assumption was that they had used it for the gun.
They had used it for trade.
That's what they told us.
Yeah, they had used it for trade. And they actually have, you can see there are the parts for 2 other computer cars in here, like drone launch bays and all that kind of stuff, but they've been scrapped to hell. They've been ripped apart. They're effectively flatbed trailers at this point. In here, like all the tech has been ripped out of them and sold. And so your big steel is done, and then after the steel cars are 2 more engines, and they've just got like a lot of intermediary engines to like help just provide forward momentum to this behemoth train line. None of y'all are certified train people, but this is like a lot. This is like, there's a lot of mass to this, and getting it up to speed takes time. Slowing it down takes time, like miles, right? So this is a lot of coordination going on in here, and the choo-choo engines in here are spinning up and spinning down, and it's loud and it's musky and gross in here, and all that stuff is all this is getting connected.
As a side note, at some point, probably before this, I would have told Vinton to make sure all the tanks and everything is full. because we get free gas up here, and
Oh yeah, no,
we need to do that. So
absolutely.
just
I would have. Jim Davey would have got a big old bill. Every single vehicle that we have
You get the
owned
company
would.
discount. It's not free gas. It's the company
company.
discount. Just
So-
I
makes
mean,
sense.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But we would definitely top off every single truck.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe sweeten the pot with the guys so they won't take as much of our money and give them free trucks. Maybe
I-
that could be part of the negotiation.
Are they loading us? So our engine, our steel, couple more engines, our stuff, couple more engines, their stuff.
It was going to be a couple of engines and their stuff, and your stuff was going to get loaded on this last train. But if you want to make a change, now's the time to do it before everything's in position.
Logistically, Vi thinks that is smarter because it's our stuff, and then it can be disconnected,
Mm-hmm.
like after Sacramento, like if they want to go their own way.
Sure.
Or something. That would be Vi's logistical thought, but
Yep.
she doesn't know shit about trains. So
No, it's good. Give me a persuade because you're going to grab some foreman that's down here trying to get stuff done. You're like, hey, no, all my stuff should be on those cars, and those cars need to be connected to that before this next train gets connected up. So you're gonna try and like kind of get your stuff consolidated and not spread
We're
out
not
all throughout
moving
their
any
junk.
big iron stuff, are we?
Yeah, you're all going together.
Oh, okay.
That was the
Yeah,
deal.
they're
Is y'all
moving like
have
they're moving like their whole sitch, right?
y'all have the paperwork that gets you through town, and they said, hey, if you can get us through town, all of this stops. So
Yeah.
they're borrowing your paperwork, or you're extending your paperwork to them to get this whole line through Sacramento.
I'm gonna burn 2 luck.
Okay. Awesome. Okay, yeah. I mean, this guy is like frets about it, right? He grumbles, but does it. And so there's some time spent like getting all the stuff from the surface down in here, loaded on the right cars, getting the cars in the right position. It's this whole like just dance of getting cars moved around and connected to the right things. They moved the gun and the like that stuff out of the way, and then those 2 engines come back by, grab your stuff, attach at the back of the steel line, go back, move everything. And so there's all this just rigmarole. And you see that like the family has basically torn down all of the temporary structures that they had set up over here. Those are mostly torn down and boxed up on train cars now. Those boxy train cars with the big barn doors. All their stuff is loaded into there. Oz, it is trippy, as there are like, I don't know, 130 people on you, just moving around. Just moving around. They're walking on you. They're opening doors. They're shuffling stuff. They're like throwing stuff and getting mad and like having little arguments with each other and then like reconciling. And I mean, they're just working, right? They're just working on loading up, and you experience all of that as train man. As someone whose brain is fused with this train, they're just crawling all over you. You big man of metal.
Oz not in his happy place.
Right, exactly. And you see that they move. Most of the family has a handful of cars that they fill into. You see them moving Gran. Her doctor is with her. What's her doctor's name? I forget the doctor's name.
I can look it up and let you know in a bit.
That's right. So either way, you see
in our in-character chat.
That's right. Yeah, you see them moving. I think it was like Pritchard or something like that.
Yeah.
So you see them moving Gran, and you're like in the middle of all this logistics and all that kind of stuff. But you see Pratt. There it is. So you see them moving Gran, and Pratt is with her. There's a nurse there, like holding a bag of fluid, as they transport her. She is in a wheelchair still, but seems to be lucid and is talking to somebody. while they move as a group, kind of thing.
Okay. Well. Okay. Okay.
Do you want to go over?
Yeah, if it's not in the middle of everything else, then yeah.
There's stuff going on. I mean, there's tons of things to distract you, is the thing, right? Like, there's all kinds of stuff moving, and like you're seeing more of your stuff come down on the elevator, and it's like, oh god, that has to be added to this train. Silas can help with that. Other people can help with that. But
I actually want to tell Silas something.
Okay.
Before I walk over there, can you figure out what happened to Safeworth?
Yeah, I can ask around.
Okay. And then I will go talk to Pratt.
Cool. Yeah, you head over. There's a couple of guards that like give you the hey, stop it thing, and Pratt waves them off. It's like, no, she's fine. She's fine. She helped. And you come walking up, and he says, Vi, it is good to see you again.
It's good to see you again, Doctor.
Yeah.
How is she doing?
Grand, you want to answer for yourself? She says, I'm feeling much better, darling. Thank you so much for helping me. I understand that you were present when Pratt was working on me.
Yes, I assisted in his work.
That's very good of you. That's very good of you. Well, hopefully all this ugliness can be past us and we can open a new chapter in our lives. I want to thank you for making that opportunity happen. I think we were going down a dark road, and you have given us an alternative.
Good. That is very good to hear. The Midnight Runners are happy that you'll be joining us outside of Sacramento.
Hopefully, the Big Iron Gang can go back to just being the Big Iron family, and that would be mighty good for me.
I think we would all like that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing better.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Man, just Sacramento's been the worst thing in the world to me ever. So, just very happy to be out here.
It hasn't been great for us either. So we are more than happy to be moving on.
A lot of that going around, I see. Well, tell you what, on the road or on the line, why don't you come back to my car and we'll have tea or something?
I would really like that. Thank you.
Excellent. Bring your little boyfriend. He's nice.
The one with the cowboy hat or the one that's driving the train?
The one that's always around you.
That's my bodyguard, but sure, I'll bring him as well.
Oh,
I'm sure he loves tea.
That makes sense. Okay, I guess he's fine.
All right.
So they pick her up, wheelchair and all, and load her into her car. And let's see here. The family. I think the Midnight Runners, if they've got to move the trucks, they're probably going to stay with the trucks. Because, like, the highway is still dangerous, right?
Yeah, no, I was say much give one of the kids guardians like, this is your chance to get off my list. Make sure my truck, above all others, make it back.
He's
if
like,
it
all right.
doesn't, don't come back with it. Just don't come back.
That might not be an option for me, Vint, but yeah.
Like, but I would give orders if I have to run attack roll. But I would give the trucks a
Yeah, so I think
exit stage left. Take back roads down.
So yeah, I think the family is gonna take the trucks back to protect them. Which means that a little less stuff is gonna have to go down the elevator. Like Roy's, his whole sitch is coming down that elevator, right? So you got the Roy's motel cafe sign. You've got Roy, the kitchen, his staff, right? Like everything that wasn't nailed down, he took with him. And so they're all loaded up in the train. So one of the train cars has this like bright red and white sign, right? And all of their supplies, and he's fretting about like dishware and, you know, those plates are irreplaceable. You can't get them anywhere now. Don't break it. So he's running around trying to make sure his business is intact at the end of this move. And I'm trying to think of anything else on all of this. It takes time, right? Like this whole thing just takes time. Just moving all this metal around just sucks. But yeah, eventually, Oz, you're like a quarter mile away. when they hook up the last, those last two engines that have been bulldozing everything around, those two engines hook onto the back, and you've got like by the end of this, you've probably got like 200 something folk on you, right?
Oz has been complaining to everyone at this point in time.
Lucky for them, they're in a giant mountain. The people that would have to hear it would be me and Ta. Like, oh man, I'm signed up for this.
You do see that while everyone is on the train, Silas and Violet, before you climb on, you see that there are about 15 people standing off the train, like in a little group. And they're just kind of standing around, not doing anything anymore. You had seen one or two of their faces before in camp, working, being busy, but now they're just standing there, kind of watching as this whole train back and forth thing happens many, many times over, and they're just kind of like sitting there, sharing some food between them, kind of thing, and they're just huddled as a little group.
I don't think that I'm very concerned about that.
Cool.
I don't know about.
I was gonna ask around about safe work. Is what
Cool.
I suggest I do. So I'm just gonna ask about that fellow with no arms we brought in a few days ago.
The fellow without arms you brought in a few days ago, right?
I feel like that should be a good enough description that they'll be like, oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So it takes a second because nobody wants to answer that question. But eventually you get up to one of the foreman type guys, and give me like a conversation or something to just so I can see like how well Silas gets this info out of the guy.
He's so good at conversating.
Critical success.
Oh,
Dude,
shit. I guess I
well
am.
done. Well done. All right. So, yeah, it's
a 4 to my conversation.
Good on you, baby. Good on you, baby. So, with your +4 off that amazing empathy you've got.
Yep. 2 from empathy, 2 from conversation.
There it is. Wait, don't you have like some sort of cybernetic that makes it a little bit better for you? I thought you had like a mood.
I get bonuses to figure out if people are like lying and stuff.
Sure.
If I listen to them talk for a while.
Okay.
But that's about all that does.
Sure. Yeah, fair enough.
I can double check all that.
Yeah, so one of the guys like, oh, you're the one that brought him in? Man, I got to thank you for bringing him in. Yeah, we got a plan for Safe Fourth. Safe Fourth is, well, we're going to leave him behind. We're going to give him back to Smud.
Okay.
I think the plan is just kick him off the train, and just let him roll through town kind of thing. But, yeah, he's on the back.
Any particular reason why you're going to do that?
Well, we kind of got everything we want out of him. It sounds like his name is Mud here in Sacramento, so I'll give him back. Let him rot here. I hear their prisons suck. So.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I heard his name's actually like Gripper or something like that.
Yeah, I heard something about, I don't know, he used to have like a strong hand, but he's got no hands now, so fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he ain't got those anymore.
I wanted to ask. So there's a bit of a betting pool going on because like we didn't know that he was armless. And it looks like those are fresh. Can you tell me what happened to those arms?
Well, one of them paid a toll.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to get out of a tunnel, and folks, they needed payment, and I was just sitting right there, so we just went ahead and.
Hey,
they said they wanted 25%. I think in arms about.
Nothing goes to waste in the wasteland, man. That's how it is. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And the other one?
Gone.
Okay. Well. Hey, Lenny! Looks like Bert won the fucking betting pool. And then it's like, thanks, buddy.
No worries.
So money's changing hands now. You're the best. And he starts to walk away. He looks back and he's like, you sure you can't tell me what happened to the second arm? Because there's like a bet on that one too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right.
Just know it was a nasty piece of work.
You all right? And he like walked off.
Right next to the train.
Sure, yeah, you could hear that whole Oz. You were hearing
Oz,
way too many
everything.
conversations. You're hearing way too many conversations.
Oz will come over the speakers and say, "I will tell you what happened to the other fucking arm if you convince everyone to wipe their feet."
And suddenly there's a mass foot cleanliness campaign that is enforced by some of the more like aggressive Big Iron gang, Big Iron family members, because there's like money on this and like they want to know. So yeah, you everybody cleans their feet.
Okay, good. Oz,
Do
One
Silas
thing-
and I count? Because I bet Silas and I don't.
Interesting thing on the voice stress analyzer. I think it got better in this edition than the one that I picked up originally. Like, there's nothing about like listening to people for a minute in here. It just is a
Oh.
+2. It's a +2 to human perception interrogation skills.
Oh, dude,
And then
Oh,
if I
shit.
use
that is straight up
and then if-
great.
and then if I use the lie detector function, you make all of the rolls privately, and then just tell me when it beeps. And if the roll fails, I don't know that, but it still beeps.
That's fun.
I also
is.
have the voice analyzer.
Oh my god. Okay.
Just therapist. I thought it would be.
Yeah.
That's so fucking awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay.
You can
Cool.
activate it for a minute with an
All right.
action.
Stop reading the rules.
Just for a minute.
That's amazing.
After
All right. So
everybody gets
Better
their
than it was before.
and he feels like they're going onto it. Oz would wait until that dude was in a particular private car or something along those lines,
Sure.
and come on the speakers and say, Safeworth's other arm was half blade, half tracker. We had to take it off, or Smud was going to follow us to wherever we took him to. And since he kept trying to stick the blade into us, we kind of take that off too.
nice. Yeah. So he's like, holy shit. He had a tracker on him? Man.
He
Smart
had
on
like
you.
3
find that.
trackers on him, but we had to get it off of it because I didn't think you guys would appreciate us leaving Smud here.
He's kind of looking up at where he imagines the camera is, right? He's like, "You all right, train man? Thank you."
No problem.
He
Appreciate it.
he radios to his buddies like, "Hey, they stole that other arm because it was tracking him, and like, and if they had let him back here, then all of Smud would be here. They saved all our lives." And then like people are like, "Holy shit, Eric, you owe me $100." You know, so like there's just all this comms chatter about like money changing hands about the reasons he showed up without arms was apparently storied and many. So there were lots of bets on lots of options, and some people just got really rich right now.
To not put another thing to do before we start moving,
Yes.
since I had so much time, I would use the secret special super duper thing to call Jim Davies.
Cool. Yeah,
with all the secrets.
yeah. So you have to leave the tunnel to do that.
I will let Silas know that was my plan. I don't know if he wants to come with me or not.
Yeah, I come with it on comms. Just be like, they're gonna drop this fella in the city. Is that a problem?
What the fuck? I'm sorry?
Yeah, they're gonna drop Safeworth out the back of the train, apparently. At some point.
That's not good. I don't think that that's a good idea. At all. Can you just go shoot him?
You guys are. I'm gonna say that you're like outside, kind of walking, because you're like walking along your big wall of steel cars, right? And the I-beams are like spanning many cars. Like I don't know if you've all ever seen I-beams being moved, but they can kind of flex a little bit, and so they're on these like big towers holding all the I-beams in place as they like flex down the train track together, kind of thing. And so you're walking by this huge wall of steel.
Is it only the two of us that can talk to one another because of the mountain?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that like in the mountain, anybody who's in the mountain can talk to each other. Outside of the mountain, anybody outside of the mountain can talk to each other, kind of thing. Except for Oz, because Oz is in both places at the same time and can do whatever Oz wants.
Everywhere.
Yeah. And so through Oz, you could probably bridge some comms, kind of thing.
Wait, so they're just they have him alive and they're just going to drop him off? And
Can I locate him on my train?
No, because he's not making sound. You
Should
know
get
where lots of stuff are, things that are about as heavy as a person, but there's like 1,000 of those things that are about as heavy as a person on you. So
There just wasn't anything that looked like a safe earth or a person being loaded.
yeah, like maybe he was already loaded when you got here, or he was loaded kind of serendipitously. Either way, you're not exact. You have no idea where Safe Fourth is.
I mean,
And you're looking your
you're gonna have-
cams, and you don't see him just sitting in a chair, or like a burlap sack with like a humanoid thing inside. Like you're not seeing any of those telltale markers of a person.
I'm gonna keep an eye out for him.
Okay.
Or what might look like two people guarding a person box thing.
Yep.
Silas, I don't think we can let that happen.
Yeah, I was afraid you'd say that.
Were you really afraid I was going to say that, or looking forward to me saying that?
The first one just sounds like a lot of trouble at this point.
I think you need to take care of it.
Um,
I'll go figure it out.
if he just goes and kills this dude, that's gonna cause some problems with our friends, don't you think? Maybe. I mean, do we really care once we leave?
If they drop him in the city, yes, that is something I care about.
Okay.
Because I don't want to put Jim Davies in any more danger, and that would just call attention to it. I think that the best thing that we can do is make sure that he's not with us when we go through Sacramento, whatever not with us means. And I give Silas a look, like what not with us means.
I can keep a track on if anything gets dropped off the train. Maybe we could, I don't know, let Davies know when he gets dropped off and where, and he could have his people pick him up. That might make Davies look good if he brought him in.
It's possible. Let's figure out where he is first, Silas.
Yeah, I'll go see about it. Just walk the cars.
Okay. Yeah, you head back in and start looking around.
And I'll head out to call Jim Davies.
Okay. Ta and Vinton. I know you guys have been kind of on the outskirts, like protecting the topside convoy. That unloading is basically done. Where do y'all want to go?
I would find the closest. I would find the closest access road to get to the front of the train, and then I would line the car up in front of the train and just be waiting patiently, because I'm sure I didn't hear any of that conversation, right? Like that was all happening within the tunnel, right?
Yeah, unless there was like somebody bridging the call for everybody, probably not.
Yeah.
I think it was we were on our way out to call up everybody, and then Silas mentioned that on the way, and then we had to turn around.
Yeah.
Ben has no opinion one way or another what they do, man. That's why he's. I'll just say that's why he's quiet. Like,
Sure.
oh, I'll run him over.
Okay, so you all wrap up with Helios topside. Helios goes back down into the rail yard, and you guys and the trucks are basically free to roll. The trucks move out, and you and Ta take the beast to find some like craggy path to get you over to the train. Let's see here. You all do see a couple of heavy trucks, like not heavy trucks, like some utility trucks that they have loaded up onto the bed of one of these rail cars, kind of thing, and they've been tarped and covered as well. Just Silas, as you're walking through, you see these like trucks that have they've clearly been modified to work on rail lines. right, to drive on rail lines, and they've got, you know, roll cages and looks like a gun mount and all that kind of stuff. And you see them starting to tarp those trucks. They're on the back of the train. And those are like probably normal train security, but they don't want to have any of that going through Sacramento. So there's all these like prep things that they're doing just to get through the city. And they're trying to, like, anything that looks like too hinky, they're trying to cover, put in a box, tarp it, something, just so that, you know, no questions get asked, kind of thing. And so you're seeing a lot of that as you're walking back. I think here we should take a break because we've been going for a little bit. We will take I only need like a 10-minute break today. Does that work for you guys? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So, chat, we are going to take a quick 10-minute break and get our stuff, some beverage and that good stuff, and we'll be back. I think that puts it at like just after 9:50 my time.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, everybody, we'll be right back, and we will find out what happens with the Big Iron Gang in Sacramento on our return. So, see y'all. All right, let's do this. Oh man, okay. I think we're 10 minutes on the dot. That's like one of the first few times where we've come back from break, like right on time. Hey everybody, we are back in our like big iron train full of steel and some of the Midnight Runners and all of the big iron crew is here. And right as you all are about to shove off, Oz, you feel another presence.
Another presence.
And there's this softer voice comes on and says, "Hey, I hear this is going to have another operator. Are you him?"
We weren't warned about this at all, were we?
Nope.
I say I am the operator.
Good to meet you. My name's Sam. What's yours?
Oz. I sent a message to everybody, letting them know and say somebody better get confirmation or I'm attacking this dude.
Dead.
Well, it's good to
I
meet
will.
you. We are. I'm the driver for Big Iron, and happy to co-pilot with you. If you don't mind, could you let me see the cameras and everything?
No offense, dude. Nobody told me at all that anyone else was going to be riding along. So
I understand I'm a lady, but
till I get word from Helios before I give anything over.
okay, I'll let Helios know. And let's see here. Yeah, so you've got this other person in there. Are you doing anything else while we're waiting on Helios to show up?
Preparing for an attack and or response.
Sure. How do you want to do that? You're currently jacked into this whole train, right? So you can feel all the sensors and all that kind of stuff. And there is a network, right? Your computer car provides a network. This person is not like up by you. They're probably all the way in the back or at one of the other engines at least.
Right.
But they're talking to you through your computer car because they are jacked in and are on your network, kind of thing.
Okay, so here's my question on how that would work. I would have, like, if they jack in and try to connect into me, don't they have to like try to get through my security and defenses before they can do anything?
No, because they're only at the first level. They're not trying to control anything. They're not trying to go any deeper than level 1. They haven't even tried to do your password to get through that first layer of security in your network. They've just jacked in and said, "Hey, I hear there's another operator here, and I would love it if you gave me access to your cameras." But they are in the first layer of your network.
Okay. Well, I had spent a bit of time when I first got into this train, and for that following couple of days, beefing up the security and setting up my own ice and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So I'm making sure that all of that is good, and trying to figure out one, making sure and keeping a very close watch to make sure they don't try to do anything they shouldn't do.
Sure. Yeah, so you go into the elevator, which is your network, right? Into your network. And you can see them standing there at your, on the layer 1. Like, they're not touching anything. They're in this, like, kind of like neon blue light. And their avatar looks like a the like front scoop of like an old timey train engine, one of those like snow clearers or cow movers, the big like pointed nose grill looking thing, and the smokestack of an old steam engine, and that's what their icon looks like. They're up on two wheels, and they kind of look like a Segway rider, kind of shifting back and forth on their two wheels in their neon blue uh, steel train looking thing.
I'm also gonna figure out what I can do to give them access to cameras on level 2 and nothing else.
Sure. Yeah, it would be a matter of letting them through the whatever the layer 1 security was, if that was a password or what have you, and then down on level 2, you just give them access to the cameras, kind of thing. Like you'd say, here's the password to get into the cameras for your user account that you set up for them, kind of thing. You could effectively make them a user and assign whatever permissions you wanted, and as long as they're not trying to hack you, like that is as exciting as it could get.
And that's basically what I want to set up. I want to set up. One thing I do want to do is make sure they don't have any access to anything on the computer card.
Okay.
We have our files, and I also want to give them exterior cameras of the engine and the camera and the computer card, but not interior. I don't want them to see me.
Sure.
But everything else, I'm gonna set that up so that they have access to that. Once I get word and agree to give that over.
Okay. So yeah, you work on that. That takes you, splits of seconds, right? It's a minor inconvenience to make them a user account.
Right.
After a little while, you all flag down Helios. Helios is in the middle of tarping some truck or something like that towards the back end of the train, and trying to get some people to cinch some stuff down and all that kind of stuff. Helios is trying to get everything buttoned up when someone walks up to him. Do one of you want to walk up to him, or do you want one of his people to do it?
I think she was going to have one of his people.
Well, I sent a message to you guys saying if somebody doesn't find out I'm killing somebody.
Then I would go bother
Yeah,
Helios.
we know that means there's no rush.
Mm. Oh, woo.
That's a lot of loud talk for somebody that might have their eyes turned off.
You play nice, please. And hi, Sam. This is head of security. Nice to meet you. Sorry about our train operator. He's a little paranoid.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, I just kind of showed up. It sounds like I was unannounced. That's unfortunate. Good to meet you, head of security. What's your name?
Call me Blackbeard. I'll be running about 2 miles ahead of you to make sure nothing's obstructing our view. This is a pretty big train. So
Yep.
Make sure you have plenty of time to stop.
That sounds perfect to me. Do you have a radio that can comms all that through mountains and that kind of thing, or are you gonna get a little closer to us whenever you're near a big tunnel?
I would assume, David, that the Beast would have a CB. If not, or given the time that we set, I would have set up something for that.
Yeah, and really what I'm trying to get into here is that she starts talking shop with you to see, like, all right, what's your slack and all that kind of stuff. It's just chatter.
No, it's like,
nothing major.
I got plenty of equipment here. I used to be over the road trucker, so I found a security job, give me a little more steady pay. So I got all that equipment in.
Okay. No, that's good.
You the main train driver, or you just the unlucky saw that's got to feel all that?
Oh, I'm normally the train driver for Big Iron, but I understood that there was somebody else operating today, and I'm just here to keep my family safe and just be along for the ride mostly.
Understood. Well, I appreciate having a second set of hands, especially somebody who might be a little more experienced in something this big. We're mainly highway runners.
It is a special thing, running something this heavy.
No. Oz, please play nice.
Shut up.
Vi, you find Helios as I described right earlier, up on something, yelling at a bunch of people, get stuff done, and glances over at you and kind of puts his rag away and says, Vi, Dr. Vi, what can I do for you?
Just wanted to get confirmation that you were going to have an operator on the trains. First thing that we've heard about, and they logged in and kind of spooked our driver.
Oh, yeah, we've always got an operator. Probably Sam today. We got a few
Okay.
operators, but she's great.
Okay, we wanted confirmation that that's what was going on. What engine is she in? Where is she?
She's probably in that one up there. It's like one of the middle engines.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Helios. Everything almost done with y'all?
Yeah, I think we're just about done. I'm gonna check the tarp around the gun again. I'd really like to get that through town without anybody poking at it. So,
Us too.
yeah,
You
right?
leaving some crew behind?
No, all.
She nods to the people that are hanging about.
Oh, yeah, pressed into service. They're free to go once we leave.
Okay, that's good of y'all.
Yeah, they've got food for a week, clean clothes, all that kind of stuff. We're leaving behind a couple of dirt bikes for them to do whatever they want with, that kind of thing.
Okay, all right. I think we're good to go then.
All right. Well, if you need me for anything, I'll be towards the back. But otherwise, I think we're almost ready.
All right. Dave, did anything come from my call with Jim Davies?
Oh yes, I'm so sorry. So you reach out to Jim Davies. Jim, let's see here, would have messaged back that he's out on, he's been released without any charges. Appreciates you passing him that info. He was able to plant that where they could find it. And that pretty much cleared his name from all of that.
Is the city pretty convinced that he was a bad guy?
Yeah, they're finding out all kinds of things that he was doing, kind of screwing the city over and messing up contracts here and there. It goes way beyond Big Iron Gang, and this Scavin thing. He was doing all kinds of shady stuff.
If he were to show up again, you think the city would just tear him apart?
Gosh, he replies back that Smud doesn't exactly have the court system of old. It's once they decide you're guilty, there's pretty much nothing you can do about it. I was very fortunate that they were still on the fence about my guilt. If they weren't, you'd not hear from me ever again, kind of thing. So, given the amount of evidence against him and how they really kind of do need a scapegoat, I'd imagine that the trial for him would be swift and the punishment severe.
Okay. The last thing I would want to tell him is that we are moving out today. We are going to be moving the train through Sacramento, and we'll be on our way.
Okay. You still have all everything in order? Anything else you need from me? You've done me a lot of good, so I want to make sure that you're all squared away.
Just if we just want to get through the city without being bothered, like we are done and ready to go home. Yeah. So whatever additional things you can do just to help us to get through the city,
yep,
I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Check that paperwork one more time. I left your number of cars blank because I really wasn't sure how big a train you were going to need, so just make sure you put that in there. And otherwise, I think you're good to go. Safe travels. Let me know when you're back through Sacramento again. We'll, I don't know, get a beer or something.
Yeah, if you're ever down in Night City, hit me up.
I don't know about this wasteland travel business, but if I ever give it up the gumption, I'll be sure to note that Night City has a friend.
Okay. I am going to let my crew know kind of the situation with Jim Davies and Gripper. Should Gripper make it back into the city, sounds like he'll end up meeting the Duke. And
sounds like a plan to me.
And then I just need to. I'll ask Oz for a total so that I can get all the paperwork set up.
Yeah, you get the
I-
total. David doesn't know the total. It's some big
No,
number.
whatever. I just
Yeah,
making sure.
but you
I'm
get the
telling
total.
you, the DM, that I am making sure my paperwork is filled out correctly.
Yep.
And I assume you tell Oz that.
Yes, that. Sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
that Sam is approved by Helios. Be careful, but should be fine.
I would politely grant level 2 access to so and so person.
Okay.
Inform them that any constructive hints or help, any suggestions are certainly welcome.
Cool.
But and
Yeah.
if they need anything else, let me know.
If you'll listen, Sam will talk your ear off about moving steel, about moving trains, about
He'll
wheel
listen.
slippage, and about how to brake distances and how to keep you from melting your wheels as you brake for heavy loads, and she'll teach you anything you want to know while you're in for that conversation. It's dry, but she'll tell you, she'll teach you, kind of thing.
Oz will mention that he is more than happy to learn all that she is willing to teach on the subject, and apologizes if he gets irritable and attempts to kill someone. He's not used to having more than 200 people crawling around on top of him.
She says, "Oh, you must be really new at this."
I'm a net runner, not a.
Oh man, okay, yeah. So this is like comfort. You want them there. They protect you. Without them, I feel weird without having people on me.
There are a select number of people that I want on me, and there's nobody on this train currently fits on that list.
Well, good to know. You'll find that someone someday, I'm sure. But this is the way of it if you're an operator. You just get used to it, I guess. Huh. I've been doing this since I was, I want to say 12. And so the idea that it goes any other way is weird to me. Well, all right then. I guess if you don't mind, give us a little bit of gas. Go easy. Let's get up to a couple miles an hour and see how she shakes out.
All right.
And you all, as a unit, begin to very slowly move. Silas, you have been wandering around. You have been searching for a little while, and the train starts to move. It's crazy slow. Crazy slow. You have lots of time before you need to do anything. How do you want to go about this?
I mean, I imagine it's a straight line from front of train to back of train. I imagine I'll run into something eventually.
Sure, yeah, you walk the whole train. Sayforth is not like outside the train.
I was gonna be like in.
Oh, so this
Like
is like
in
a
the cars,
cargo train,
yeah.
right? So like there's not doors from car to car.
Gotcha.
Some of the cars have barn doors on the outsides, and there's a lot of gear or people in them. They probably do have a person car. That kind of makes sense. They'd have one people car, right? But
there's like 100-something people in the train, then I'm sure they got a few people cars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they're kind of spread out. The way they do is they like fan out on the cars as like a protection thing. But the family people, the folks that aren't up for protection, they stay in the people car, and probably cook food and all that kind of stuff to make sure everybody's fed on the. But either way, you've got all these cargo cars. Some of them are just open top flatbeds. Some of them are these box cars. How does Silas want to go about finding this person?
Well, they told me he was on the back, right?
Yeah, somebody said he's on the back.
So I mean, I'd start there.
Okay. So at the very back, you've got 2 engines. You've got the gun. You've got those scrap metal cars, those 4 scrap metal cars, and then you've got probably 3 or 4 cargo cars all back there that I would consider in the back of the train.
Yeah, I mean, I just check each one.
Okay. You get up to the engine. Just to kind of describe it real quick, they do have like a person at each engine. They have an armed person at each engine. Most of them are inside the cabs of the engines, so you can climb up the stairs and kind of poke your head and see through the bulletproof glass. And there's a guy in there, just kind of sitting at the chair and kind of looks up at you with a like, "What do you need?" look on their face.
Looking for that armless fella.
Oh, well, he's not in here, so I'm not exactly sure where he's at, but he's around here somewhere, I think.
All right, I'll ask around.
Okay. You go to the second engine. Same deal. Another armed guy in the engine, in the driver room kind of thing. And you get up and ask him, and he's like, "Yeah, I think one of the foremen have him. I'm like, maybe the next couple of cars or something like that."
All right, I'll ask around.
Okay. So you go to where
he gives everybody the same spiel. He's like,
Yeah.
all right,
yeah, and they're not like
not worried about it.
it's not a state secret. It's just like it's not their job, right? So like they're focused on getting their shit done. And you go to where the gun is, and they basically, when you saw it before, the barrel was out and like propped up. It's now laid flat and tarped over, and it's kind of obvious that there's a cylinder, right? Like kind of poking out the back of all of this, but it is tarped, and you can't tell that it's a gun because it's inside of a box kind of thing. And you get over to that car, and there's 2 guards with that car, and one of them says, "Hey, you're that Silas guy, aren't you?" And the girl with him, or the woman with him, says, "Oh yeah, he's the one that brought in the Safe kid fella."
Yeah, looking for the same. Where he's at?
"Oh, sure, we got him. What's up?"
I heard you guys were planning on just kind of tossing him off in the city. At least that's how it was worded to me. I don't know if that's 100% accurate.
Yeah, it seemed like just feed him back to the sharks, like.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was noodling on it a little bit. I feel like that'd probably draw some attention to the train that he just kind of fell off of, right? Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah. Well,
Like, what if we dropped him off in a way that's not connected to our train that has some nice legal paperwork attached to it? If that makes sense.
sure. Yeah. Guess we could put him in a
just don't
sack. I'm not.
I just don't want another chase happening.
They start like noodling it, like, how do we do that?
I mean, we can always, take him through on a car or something if you want. Like, we got vehicles.
Oh. That's kind of above my pay grade, friend. Let me.
I mean, I don't mind delivering him to Smudge, just not off of our really nice legal train that's got a bunch of illegal shit on it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Let me check with Helios.
Yeah.
And they radio up, and a few minutes later, I mean, this train is starting to roll, and it's like I don't know, going walking pace, right? And there's people walking along with it that are like not in a really rush to get on the train, and you can hear the engines all like revving up, right, trying to start to move this load, and so there's just. It just takes a long time for these trains to spool up. So like, it's like moving, but also not. It's not really making real progress yet. And Helios comes walking back, and kind of comes up, and the guard, she says, "Hey Helios, Silas here is a good point about us dropping off Sayforth in the middle of the town." And Helios kind of looks at you and is like, "What's going on, Silas?"
I mean, it occurred to me that maybe if you know, if I were a pedestrian and I see a fella fly off of a train, I'm probably going to be a bit curious about what else that train's got on it. You know what I mean?
Sure, that makes sense. What do you have in
And I mean,
mind?
we can get around that. Like we can take a car or something a bit quieter and drop him off. But I mean, we can even toss him if you want. Moving vehicle. It just trains only got one track and go down.
Sure. No, I hear you. My my intention was to kick him off the train kind of after we got through town. Does that work for you, or?
I mean, if we're all the way out to the city, then that's fine. I just don't want more flying cars and shit chasing us down on our way out.
Sure. Well, I mean, I just, if you've got a car for us to take, I might take that deal, but I really don't want to let him go.
Yeah, I mean, we can find one.
Okay.
I'm sure. We got tons of trucks. We just sent half a dozen of them.
Well, I imagine you don't. If you're worried about this train, then you probably are also worried about one of your semis.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, we got some junker cars too we could find.
Okay.
We could steal one if you want.
Okay. Well, sorry, I'm reading memes that you guys are sending me. He says, well, either way, like it's a fair point, kicking him off the train does call a little attention to the train. I don't know, man. I just really wanted to feed him back to the same people that did all this to us.
I mean, that's fair. There's a lot of ways to do that. I mean, shit, we could leave him outside the city and let somebody in the city know. Come pick him up. We got a few contacts we made.
Oh, that's interesting. All right.
Just be like, hey, you want to come pick up a little package outside the city? Might be some money in for you.
All right. So we move him through the town. We move all this through the city. And once we get through the city, we hand him off to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, hell, that or just drop him in a ditch. Somebody will find him.
You see him kind of like, you see the gears in his head working, as like pieces are falling into place. It's like, okay, all right, that would work for me.
Cool.
Yeah, man, I really wanted to see the look on his face. Can we make sure it's cops? No, that probably is too bad. That's probably not good. All right.
I mean, we could call him.
I don't really want to deal with those people.
Call him.
Is there a golly? I just. So here's the thing. I really wanted to see his face when he saw that we were throwing him back into the den, as it were. But just outside is probably going to be fine too. I don't know. Just a little satisfaction there. Silas, give me a persuade. As you're trying to work this guy.
What is my persuade? Oh, well, that's a little better. That's just a little bit. 15. Same thing.
Nice.
Same thing as the other room.
Nice, dude. Yeah, 15. Okay, great. So yeah, I mean, Huey Lewis is not like, he is a leader within the family, but he's agreeable enough as long as he gets like his pound of flesh out of this deal, right? And so you offering to make sure he gets picked up by somebody, because like that was the deal with dropping him in town, is like he's obviously going to get picked up, right? And if you're offering to line up a deal where he can get picked up after town, like that works too.
Okay. And I mean, hell, I wouldn't mind even like just to put it on the table. I wouldn't mind even like riding with Helios. Like if we had to hop off the car or hop off the train for a minute and go drop him off somewhere, we could do that. I mean, that train's not going to be moving very quick coming out of the city, I don't imagine.
No, yeah, it has to go slow through the city because there's some sharper turns and that kind of thing.
I mean, we could just drive off a ways, and I mean, Helios could come with me as far as that goes.
Okay. He says, "Okay, well, yeah, you line up whatever you can. Let me know what that arrangement is, and if it's once we get through the city, then that'll work for us."
All right. Yeah, and I guess what like the fixer fella that I went to see before might
Hey,
be interested.
Hayworth,
Hall,
Hallbrook.
something? Hallbrook. Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Miniskirt,
I'd,
never
I'd
skips leg day.
yeah, I'd bring him up once we got a chance.
Sure. Yeah, it doesn't take you
Or get
long.
somebody who knows him. I don't know that well.
Yeah,
I'll be
go ahead. What's up, Vinton? You were breaking up there, man.
I was gonna be like, yeah, now you gotta going away. The hero of the city.
Oh,
Remember that you know that scavenging fellow coming across?
oh, guy in all the news. What's up with him? Were you involved in all that?
Let's not worry about that.
Hmm.
But
Interesting information.
Did he
but
forget that I was in there like 2 days ago? Was that not clear where I was
Were
coming from?
you know,
were
Because
you?
Hallbrook's the one who told me about his schedule.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, you're absolutely right. Duh. Of course you. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Thank you for that. Yeah. He does remember all those things. He says, "Yeah, yeah. All
yeah.
right. So tell me about your friend Sayforth. Is he still with us?"
Yeah, he is. Need to arrange a pickup.
Okay. Who do you need to have him picked up? You need me to do
Red,
it. Oh,
Red, anybody you trust?
okay. Yeah,
I
I can.
personally trust.
I can. I can pick her
trust
up.
you.
What do you? What am I doing with him once I get him?
Oh, you're gonna drop him off at the Smut HQ, or somebody else, or let him know where he's at.
Oh. Um.
I'm sure there's a reward.
I mean, there's got to be a reward, right?
It's probably another 1,000 smud bucks. Is what the reward is.
I mean, if it's worth
I
hit,
mean,
I
he
was
lives
like,
in
if it's
town,
worth you.
so
He does.
I was like, if
He
it's
can
worth
use the
your
smud
time.
bucks. Yeah. So yeah,
And
Hallbrook.
Buy
yeah,
like a
like if that's
milkshake
not
with
enough,
that.
I do have one more deal. If that's not enough for him, I got one.
So he just wants to understand the deal. So the deal is you want him to show up outside of town, pick up this guy, and then take him to
Yep.
Smud HQ.
Pick him up, take him to Smut HQ. Say you found a wandering desert, whatever, to keep your name out of it. And also to keep our name out of it, because if this goes well, I'll make sure you're well compensated with a direct line with another pretty well-known um, fixer that I know that
Okay.
deals with cybernetics.
Oh yeah,
But
that
I
could be
need
interesting.
your word.
That could
I
be
need your
interesting.
word that you keep our name.
Sure. No, that
And
makes sense. A little discreet transport job. That's pretty easy to set up, I think, at this time of day. And the compensation is that you put me in contact with somebody who works in cybernetics.
I'll hand you her number myself and my agent.
Okay.
Oh, with Smud or with my contact down south.
Oh, sorry. He's asking, you want me to go and pick up the person and bring them to HQ, and my reward for that effort is a contact that deals in cybernetics. That's what he's clarifying.
Yeah, down south.
Okay.
Down back in my home.
Let's do a persuasion. And he's going to do a little street deal to see if he can sweeten the deal a little bit.
18.
All right, cool. So he's got a lot of bonuses. So even though he didn't roll great, he probably still has a little more juice in the tank here. He would say, well, so here's the problem is that like bringing him does bring a bit of heat. So I need to kind of work on that a little bit. Is there, I don't know, maybe when you do the handoff, is there something else you could hand me to kind of make it worth my trouble? as an immediate thing, and then if your other contact that deals in cybernetics is worthwhile, then that's the we'll call it the icing on the cake.
Give me a second. I'm looking through my stuff.
I like how Vinton immediately goes to pay for it himself. Like that is your way, and I really like that about Vinton.
Well, if he can minimize the damage to the family, that's what he do. I was like, I tell you what, man. I know armor's hard to come by, and I got 3 perfectly good sets of light armor that I'm also willing to give up, and a submachine.
Oh. Well. Okay. Yeah. Tell you what. 2 sets of armor and the gun, and that'll pay for the the hassle. And
all right, man.
Shoot me that contact info, and if something good comes from that, great.
I'll send it straight to you, my man. Hey, hopefully this can smooth out our relationship. I know it's been a little rocky.
Yeah, it has been. I'm glad you brought that up. I hope you understand it's nothing personal. I don't mind that Red dates anybody. That never bothers me, but I do rely on her quite a bit. And whenever she goes off the table, it's a real hit to business. So I hope you understand.
Nah, I understand. I was just trying to protect her until things got a little calmed down, and
okay,
nothing personal.
Yep, no worries, man. I appreciate you.
No problem.
Okay. Well, you give me a time and place, and I'll be there.
How long do you think it'll take us, David, to get down there?
Yeah, it's gonna take you most of the day, right? Because you're going slow. This train is slow as shit.
Give us most of the day, boss man, and you'll trust me. You're seeing here us coming.
Cool.
We're pretty big.
Cool.
Just have your people ready, man.
And it says, all right. Yeah, we'll keep the engine running.
Cool. Appreciate it. I'll get off the phone later. I was like, all right, we got a deal. It's all good.
Okay.
And I'll relay that to Helios.
Okay. Yeah. Helios like, okay. Sounds good. If you just want to meet me back here when we do the handoff, just so I know I'm handed to the right person. Okay.
All right. Keeping him awake, or is he just sitting in there? Say forth. Is he just?
Oh, Doc has him hooked up to some cryo bag thing, keeping him from getting all squirrely. I mean, I know he's got no arms, but hell, right? I mean, he's a caged animal, and caged animals do real stupid stuff. So.
Do we turn off his trauma team stuff?
Yeah. You all had taken his agent and Faraday caged it.
Gotcha.
I have all that stuff, so I mean, I occasionally look through his wallet.
Yeah, you still got Sayforth's wallet with all the smud bucks in there and like all of that junk.
I would actually ask if he has a cred stick, because I would like to use that cred stick.
Sayforth did not walk with a cred stick.
Damn.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I would say like, I didn't really find anything on it. No, not really. He had this agent, but I fixed that.
Yeah, I mean, Sayforth was pretty deeply embedded. He had his SMUD like gym membership. He had his ID. He had like a frequent shopper card at the grocery center. He had SMUD bucks only on him. He was as native as he could be. His apartment was probably a different story, but his person, if he ever got stopped by anybody, it's all SMUD, right? So, yeah. Other than his arms, right? His arms was the only like kind of giveaway on him, and none of these people in the town knew about that stuff. So, either way, train rolls up to like a brisk walk. Anybody? Any other last things y'all want to do while this train is getting moving?
I was just like lying on the floor of the train. It is so slow.
Yeah.
It is way worse than Train Simulator 4000.
I would stress to Todd to go stand guard, not knowing Silas of the docks at, over train. And I'll ride by myself for right now.
So you want to drop Ta on the rail lines and let the train catch up to him and he hop on? Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah, that's what.
I'm outside. I'm with Oz by this point.
Okay.
Or at this
Perfect.
point. So
I will graciously allow her entry into the cabin.
You're so magnanimous.
I know.
Thank you, my liege. Thank you.
thank you so much.
Would
She has to
Silas
bow
be
and
able
wipe
to
her
have
feet,
enough time
but-
to get there?
Ow!
Well, I think Tosh should stay with Vinton.
Yeah, Tal would not just get out of the car and wait for an hour for the train to catch up.
Because it's gonna be going at like
In the middle
walking
of
speed.
I was like, I haven't
Yeah.
really moved all that much just yet. Like, I'm waiting for the train to pick up the speed.
You
Like,
should
I,
have someone. You should have someone with you. We have Silas, and you and Tosh should ride together.
We literally just got passed by a tree. We're not going that fast.
as long as
The
we got
armadillo's
somebody
walking
to guard
faster.
you, Mr. Choo Choo Train Thomas, that's all I care about.
We got Silas. We're good.
Alright.
I wouldn't have left. He was like, I hate cars, but I'm not waiting in the middle of nowhere for a while.
Only afraid that the ghost of whoever would show up. Private conversation, not on open comms.
Okay. All right. So train moves.
Yep.
Everybody's on the train, right? Except for Todd and Vinton that are leading the train out. Okay. When y'all get to the city, you guys are gonna go around, right? That was my understanding. Is that Vinton and Todd were gonna go around the city?
Yeah, I don't think they need us while
Okay.
they're in the city, right?
Okay. So, give me, as you're pulling up to the city here, you're pulling up to the depot center. The way it works, they don't really like expect trains to stop, but they have a car that will come out and pace with you, and a city official will ask to be let on to the engine to inspect any paperwork that you've got. Kind of like a port authority, how they bring out the tugboat and they have the little person. It's the same gig in the city, except this person's not a pilot. They're not going to run the train, but they want to check the paperwork of the train. So
I have that all set up
Cool.
to give them.
Cool. Give me your bureaucracy, as this guy is all bureaucrat, and you gotta like know your P's and your Q's and your Form 46B and all that junk.
I will magnanimously allow him on the train.
That is good, because he's gonna magnanimously allow the train to not get shot.
I will use my other 2 luck.
Okay, perfect.
Nice.
Whoa, nice. Okay, cool. So the two of you have this conversation, and the bureaucrat is wearing like a button-down shirt, a blue tie that says like the Smud logo across the tie, and it's clearly the shirt that he wears every day. It's probably the only one he's got for his company, and he's like kind of flipping through your paperwork, and any moment where he kind of has like a little bit of a pause, very instinctively, like this is a pause where he's thinking or a pause where he might be challenging on something, and you navigate your way through that whole exchange. With a 24, you got this kid on lockdown. And after probably a 15-minute exchange, hands you back your paper, says, enjoy Sacramento for the hour or so that you're in it.
Oh, I will. Thank you.
Of course. Do you need anything else from us? As he like turns to leave.
Do I need anything at the exit, or are we good?
No, you're through and through.
Fantastic. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. He kind of looks around. Man, it's been a while since this line's seen any activity. That's really good. It's really good to see somebody got through.
Yeah.
And he goes to his car, and the car speeds away down the line, and the city probably has something to stop trains coming in, and whatever that is moves out of the way, kind of thing. I don't know. That seems like a bad idea, maybe. Yeah, I guess they wouldn't have anything to stop trains, like on the line. But other way, you go into the city. Oz, you are scanned. as you pass into the city, there's a set of cameras along the bottom that's like kind of between the tracks that's photographing underneath the train.
That's fine.
Okay. And you kind of coast on through. You're moving at like a few miles an hour, probably 10, 15 miles an hour, so that you don't like derail as you navigate through the city here.
Right.
And you're like mile-long train.
It's just the same scans like we saw out in the desert, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a
Perfectly common procedure. Everything happens.
Yeah,
just reading the barcode on the train.
And it's also a trafficking thing, right? Because there might be something under the train that you're not aware of, and they would want to tell you, kind of thing. And while you're in the city, there are comms opened up with you. So there's a rail boss inside the city who just checks in with you every so often to make sure that, you know, train 2501 is in good order and that you're maintaining speed. And, you know, he says, hey, I've got all the little road closures down and all that kind of stuff. It's just kind of telling, like almost like air traffic control, but rail traffic control. So it's all pretty functory. Oz probably has seen that a little bit on your first way through, but you were in like this light little thing and it really didn't matter. But here, because you got this big ass train coming through, it's like, cool, I'm going to leave these gates down for like a long time.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of people who don't make it to work on time and all that stuff, as the big iron train disrupts commerce going through town.
I ask.
We could mention that to
Yeah.
them, you know, they're really giving it to Smud.
They really are.
We'll mention that to make them feel a little better. Mention that to Helios, maybe. Like, look at that. Them folks could be sitting there for hours.
That's
I
right.
asked Sam. Sam, is there like a Uber Eats for trains? Like, can we get some burgers delivered to this thing and cruising through, or do we just kick off some idiots with cash? I'm a bit peckish.
Sam says, well, if you want food, we got a food car that cooks anything up, but if you want something local, you know, we can send a runner.
We should send a runner.
All right. What do you want?
I'll get back to you.
Okay.
I put a list together.
Let's put some list together.
Oz puts a list together and then almost gets ready to send it and then stops, looks around, and calms like the crew. Does anybody want anything if I order food?
How are you ordering food?
Well, they're gonna send a runner over to we've passed like 12 burger joints, and I mean I love the Mexican food, I really do, but it's been like a solid week of Mexican, and I could really go with something else, you know, just to break it up, you know.
I'm good, Oz. I appreciate you, but
I mean,
Could I get a salad, like just a salad with greens, and that would
What
be.
about you, Silas? You want anything?
All right. I got some beef jerky.
Okay. Could yeah. Oz sends back like a list.
Good. But it's mostly for Oz, and then like a salad for Vi.
It's like a full list, and then underneath it, a salad.
Good.
With greens.
Oh, Todd, did you want anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So, yeah, and like a couple moments later, you feel someone take a moped off the train and like drive it and, you know, land it and, you know, arrest control of the moped as it touches pavement, and you see it through your many eyes as it drives off to go get you your burgers and salad. And Sam says, yeah, you know, they'll meet us kind of towards the end of the thing, I think.
Wait.
Cool. So yeah, as you move your way through town, eventually, like, delivery man is there with a big box full of food on the back of his moped, and he like picks it up with one arm and puts his hand out to grab that first engine where you're at.
Oz does the happy foods come and dance.
He grabs onto the rail and hauls himself up with his moped and all of the food. And I mean, you guys are still going pretty slow through here, so maybe he does it at a bit of a jog and then gets up in here and knocks on the back door and like holds a big box of food for the two of you.
I'll grab it, I guess.
Okay, cool. He passes over to you and says, it was $40. You've got that.
I give him 50.
Okay. Thanks a lot, man. You all right?
And then,
It's the same dude. It's the same dude from before. The same dude taking bets.
Yeah.
All right, man. You're all right.
Yeah.
Vi cautions. When we start moving faster, you might get motion sick, so don't like overdo it. And I make sure that we have a bucket.
Good stuff.
God, I'm so glad I'm not on this.
I wasn't here on the spring mission.
You take the box of food. You like take all the food out. I was like, bucket.
Gross, but it'll work.
Not gonna sit too long.
So you all make it through town. On the other end, you make it all the way through town, and at the once you get out of the walls, Helios radios for Silas, I guess, or Silas just shows up. But either way,
Yeah, probably that.
the two of you hook up.
He just showed up, probably a little too early, so he's just kind of standing around.
Sure. Yeah, and Helios comes crawling back. He's like kind of hand over hand on the cargo cars. Makes his way back there. He says, "All right, let's get our kid." And he like pulls open this flap, and you can see like the whole gun bracing system that they have in here, and Sayforth is just at the base of it, kind of in there in that open cavern, and you can see he's in a cryo bag, and he goes over there and kind of unzips the bag, starts fiddling with the cryo thing, and you see him kind of like, got it? Oh yeah, goes over, and you see like the blue light start to count down, and he says, "Will you watch this real quick? If it gets to just one blue light, just give me a holler, okay?"
All right.
And he goes out and talks to a couple of his people, and he kind of looks around and is like, "Do you know who we're meeting? What he looks like?
Yeah.
Could you describe him real quick? Because I got a guy kind of looking at us."
Wearing a miniskirt?
Yes.
That's the one.
Okay. Well, all right then. Looks like he's here.
It's a good trip.
So he kind of comes back and looks at it and goes, "That's gonna be good enough." And he disconnects him.
That we got to make like a 50-50 rule if he just dies for not being appropriately defrosted.
I mean, like, kind of med techs are only like supposed to F with that stuff.
Yep.
So,
Helios
I mean, I was hoping that he'd just drop dead now.
is not super concerned about it and says, good enough. He didn't make it to the end like the doc said he should, but I mean, we're out of time, so let's get him out of there." So he disconnects him. And will you help me out here? And like Helios doesn't need any help, but he needs you to be there because he thinks that like your contact knows you, kind of thing. And so the two of you haul this guy out, and Holbrook is out along the road, in like a pickup truck, I guess, and kind of gives you a wave. Silas, good to see you.
Likewise. Well, I brought him back.
Yeah, kind of weird about that, but all right, let's do this. Is there just out of character, real quick, Vincent? You promised him some armor and a gun.
As soon as soon as they make the drop, I'll peel off and go meet up personally with Holberg as soon as they make the drop.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, you guys do this handoff. It's kind of awkward because he's like trying to keep pace with you all while you're doing this. So let's do a quick athletics to see if we drop this guy and he gets rolled over. Because that could happen.
That'd be fun.
Silas said, 20 athletics. Come on, you're doing great. Yeah. You and Helios.
It wasn't likely, but it was possible.
That was always possible, right? So yeah, you chuck this guy, Holbrook, who is part of the XFIT crew now. He like catches him and cradles him like a baby and puts him in the bed of the truck. And he's got like, those like blue just tie wraps, those like ratchet tie strap things. He just lays him down lengthwise and just tie straps him down in the bed of the truck, just like, I don't know, like a mummy. And he like paps on the roof of the car and says, we're good, and he gives you guys a thumbs up.
I'll radio to Holbrook and be like, meet me up the line, and we'll go meet and exchange Hitchens' number for.
Sure. So yeah, you guys go meet up, do the thing, and you give him Hitchens' number.
Yeah,
right?
That's the one who does cybernetics, right?
Yeah. Hitchens resells cybernetics, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'll send. During that time, I would have.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do we want Sayforth dead? Because that's a good opportunity.
Let's not mess up.
We're through. It doesn't matter at this point.
No, I got a personal deal with Holbrook. It's fine. Let Smud deal.
Like when Silas first said that, he like Toss starts to bring out his pistol, and then when Vin says no, we got to do this, he just silently puts it back in his holster.
Is that reward for dead or wait? Or is this just the three of you? Yeah, it's just the three of you. I'm gonna stay out of it. Odds and I'm gonna stay out of it.
We could. Why would we could still pay Holbrook either way? Like we could just pay him to make it look like he's taking the dude back into the city. I'm just saying, if y'all really want him dead, I don't care either way.
I'm not interested in starting nothing else. Let's end this. Let it be Smud's issue. We've killed enough up here.
I would think that just dropping him in a ditch would start less, but.
Yep, I think it'll be cleaner that way.
Look, guys.
Smud never has to see him again.
We don't have to see him again either.
Look, it's fine. Enough killing. This is Sacramento's problem at this point. Like you said, no need to waste the bullets and ammunition. He ain't worth it no more. I'm gonna go do this deal, and then we're gonna get the hell up out of here.
It comes back to bite us. It's on you.
There's a lot that's come back to bite me here lately. I've been paying for it in spades. Let's not add any. And
that's
as
what
I
I'm
continue, enough.
Yep.
Let's go. And I'll go talk to.
Okay. So he's not gonna die. Y'all aren't gonna kill him right now, unless he's already dead from the cryo thing.
That's the thing. It's like a 50-50 shot. If he's dead in the cryo, I'm not wasting the bullet.
Right.
So,
but you don't know. You won't know.
I don't know that. That's not my thing. Like, Benton's tired. He don't want to waste the ammunition. He don't want to come back.
There it is.
Like, here we go. And I'll pull up like, all right, man. Here's your armor. A sub. I got spring etched on there. Obviously, caused a lot of issues for us.
So you get rid of that armor. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Silas, you and Helios have done the drop. You had this kind of conversation, and Helios was kind of going back with you, right? As you guys are making your way past all these cargo cars and all that kind of stuff. You get to the last one that was all covered in metal. And you step over to the other one, and he stays on the one that was covered in that sheet metal. And goes, Silas, it's been real good working with you, man. You're all right.
Yeah.
He reaches down and disconnects his car from the train.
Is that how many cars are in with that?
3 cars and 2 engines.
Okay, and that's just off the back of the train.
Mm-hmm.
Any R stuff going with that?
Mm-mm.
So I'll just tip his hat.
Okay. He kind of looks at you, and he does like this. He does this like this like gesture, which means a lot to him, I think, but it's not something that Silas has ever seen before. Where he like grips his fist and like hits his chest real quick.
Yeah, also do it back. Whatever they do.
Okay. Cool.
He's halfway kind of things like he's about to do something real fucking stupid.
And you see like the gap growing between y'all's trains, right? Oz, you notice immediately, you are 2 engines and 3 cars lighter. As something has disconnected the ass end of this train. Sam says, "Yeah, I feel it too. Fuck. God damn it. Looks like."
Did I see?
Yeah, you
I
look in the
see-
back cameras and you see Silas on the cars connected to you. You see Helios on the cars disconnected, and the 2 of them are sharing a look. And you hear Samantha or Sam go, "Idiot."
Let me guess. Okay.
Oh, we lost somebody.
Casey.
Oh, Casey's gone. Okay. Hey, folks. Casey will be back in just a second. Oh, he's already coming back. Okay, good.
I'm going to guess that they also have the big gun.
Yeah, you can see it pulling away from you. You can see the 2 sheet metal cars and the big gun car and the 2 engines are all like slowing, starting to like gently brake while you guys are still accelerating away from the city.
Before, would I have seen this?
We're outside the city, right?
Yeah, you're all outside of the city. Vinton, I'm gonna say you're like done handing things off and you're moving to get back in front of the train to provide scout.
Cool. I would like to radio to
Radio to who?
Sam, the
Oh.
train operator.
Yes.
I'd be like, Sam, I need Helios's radio comms immediately.
Okay. You know, the foremen tend to use, she gives you a channel. Like, this is old school walkie-talkie
Yep.
radio channels that she gives you.
Right.
What you do, inventing?
Hopefully saving a family from a lot of heartache. Just trust me. If it don't work, it don't work.
What's going on?
Not click.
I
Helios.
tell
Helios got
Ben's
something you gotta
making a
do.
call.
we have trains that detached, as in the cars with the gun, and Helios detached from the train.
You don't need to do this. You just let him be.
Just bye. Let me do this. All right. I click over.
Okay. Yeah, you find the channel that the foremen tend to use. And
Helios.
you get back, this is Helios. Who am I talking to?
Talking to Blackbeard, head of security for the Midnight Runners. It's been alerted to me you've disconnected. What's going on, buddy?
Yep. We are, a couple of us are stay behind. Don't worry about it. Won't bother you at all.
Helios, it's not me that I'm worried about. I'm worried about you and your family, man. My job was to make sure everybody get down this mountain. That includes y'all. And I know you got a big cannon. I understand that you're angry, but they ain't worth it. We got a lot that we can do. As a family together, we worked hard to get to this point, all of us together. Don't throw it away because you got effed over. We're done. Come on back up here with the rest of your family and come spend time with your family. We can make this right. You don't need to do whatever you think you need to do. As somebody who's also very protective of his family, I get where you're going, but this ain't the time for it.
There's a pause. And then he comes back and says, "Look, Blackbeard, I've never met you. kind of had my piece with Silas already. I seemed like we were okay. I need to know right now, are you going to try and stop me? Or are we just having a
Our
conversation?
family. I'm having a conversation to get something dumb. You seem like you headed security from what my team has told me. Am I correct? Or you're one of the uppers?
I work closely with security, but I was head of the foreman.
Right. I get it. You got screwed. Now, your decision is your decision. A man to another man, I understand. You got to handle business. I got business down south that I got to handle. But you run the risk of damaging your reputation of your entire family. They're not going to separate you from the big iron family. What do you think about that?
There's another pause. Give me a persuasion.
Gotcha. That's what I was going for.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I wanted to see the points you were making, and then use that for the persuade.
Fuck, 15.
Okay. I mean, that's a standard success. That's even a good success, right? Because
Yeah.
I think 13 is standard. How pissed is he? Well, him and his people. He says, Vincent, or not Vincent. He says, Blackbeard, I hear you. It's me and about 6 other people on this train. And I made some promises to a couple of them, and at least for right now, I feel like I need to see those promises through. But you're making some good points. Well, we got some engines. If it's all quiet, we'll catch up to y'all. If it's not, see you on the flip side.
You'll have a home down in Night City. I understand. And I tear off back up front. Because at that point, I was starting to back down. So, I'm like, I understand. I hope you know what you're doing.
I look at Violet and say, you might want to call Jim Davies and tell him he may want to be exiting the SMUD headquarters if that's where he's currently located.
Yeah, I'm already working on a text.
Wouldn't that be some shit?
Totally.
Yep.
I do message Jim Davies, and I provide him with a picture of Helios. And if I saw any other people on that part of the train. But Helios.
Yeah, I mean, Vi was back there because you were over there looking at the trucks getting loaded, all that stuff. So, I mean, if you want, you can have seen 3 of them.
The only one I tell that I'm doing anything to is Oz, just because he told me, and like just person to person, I told him I'm already contacting him.
Okay.
I send images over to him and state that these people are very angry. They just broke off and broke up with their family, and they have weapons that can hurt a lot of people. They're not with us at all anymore. They disconnected. But you all need to be highly alert.
Jim Davies asks back, he says, thanks for the heads up. Are they do you know what their target is?
Last I heard, it was SMUD HQ. But that was before anything happened with Saferworth.
He's probably gonna ask, do you know, or can you share, are they like a kind of I want to ask, like, I want him to ask what the nature of the threat is to like talk about like the like what she's willing to share in terms of the gear that they have. So it'd be like, are we talking about just some like gun-toting lunatics, or is this like something bigger?
I would say it's something bigger, but I don't have any other details. I can just give you the people.
Cool. You deliver that, along with Helios and the like one or two other faces. That is it. Your How did you gather those images?
I have image enhancer eyes, so
Okay. So just going back and like grabbing some of the feed from various moments. Okay. Okay. Sure. So you send those over to him. Let me ask a real quick question, because those are all like gathered incidentally. There's probably like other people in the background. Do you take a second to edit those images at all?
yes.
Okay. Cool. Um, so awesome. You let Jim Davies know. And
Safe, and we are done in Sacramento.
cool. Um,
I will send a text to both Holbrook and Sparks to lay low. Might get loud here soon.
okay. What is it? Holbrook shoots back. You gotta give me more than that, man. What's going on?
Of course he would.
I gotta give you shit, man.
That's what he's gonna say. Of course he is. he's a fixer. He's not gonna be
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll just put my head in the
Looks-
sand. It'll be great.
I'll tell him because it's mine. I'll just call him at that point. But like, looks like I tried my best to talk, but it looks like some of the Big Iron gang, not the family itself, decide to break off, and they're gonna. Hopefully, the leader listens to me, but they got a mighty big gun pointed at Smud HQ.
So Holbrook responds back almost immediately. Is like, so hey, this delivery I'm making to Smut HQ, I should probably not do that right now. Is what you're telling me?
No, that's exactly what I'm telling you. Do not do that. That's why I called you.
Cool.
You're a
Thanks for
good
the call,
man.
buddy. I really do appreciate that.
Oh, mention it.
He says, Vin, you're all right in my book now. All right, you and I are square.
Appreciate it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, if you get down to Nice City, I'll buy you a beer. I ain't coming back up here if I can help it.
I understand it takes a special breed to stomach this place.
I tell you what, you always got a home in Night City, man. I even know some X-Fit guys that you might like.
Oh shit! All right. Well, I might take you up on that one day. But again, thanks for the heads up. I'm gonna ditch this guy at some smud police building or some shit like that. First
Yes,
one I find.
sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.
Holbrook out.
I'll radio to Oz. I'm like, Oz and Sam, let's pick up speed and much to go ahead as possible. Hopefully they'll listen.
You know this is like a mile-long train. It's not like I put my pedal
I
down
get it.
and it goes, right?
That's,
Put my pedal
that's
down
why I
and
said,
it goes. Uh-huh.
Just think it,
yeah,
and
I
it will
get it.
happen.
Just do it, please.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Quickly
Hold on,
as
let
you
me
two can
turn out.
move.
So you guys are picking up speed, going at a smooth run, right? Going away, 20 miles an hour, maybe 25 miles an hour away from the city by this point, and you're gonna get yourself up to like 40 or 50 is gonna be your kind of top end speed with this load, because like your braking distance is like to the miles at this point already, and then you add too much more than that, and it's gonna be like many miles. Anyways. So you guys are picking up speed, and okay.
I was gonna say, if you want me to go faster, then you better get up ahead and make sure nothing's blocking the tracks. Because right
I'm
now it
already
takes me a
gone.
mile to stop. If you want me to go faster, it takes me longer. So
Yeah, I'm already gone. Like I've matched the beast, and I got all them just pumping as far ahead as I need.
So almost an hour later, you guys have gotten pretty far away from the city. Like you can't really see it anymore, because of how much you've been able to get away from here. but you hear a
Fuck.
and
God damn it.
you can like see some of the like trees do a little like shift. And about another couple of minutes later, you hear another whoosh. And the train keeps going.
I pull up the news on my agent.
Okay. Yeah. It doesn't take long for there to be a report of some kind of incident in Sacramento. News is still coming in. Sacramento under attack, kind of thing. You all, as you're driving or rolling along, you hear reports that there was a an anonymous bomb threat called in on Smut HQ, and that the building was in the process of being evacuated when it was struck by what appeared to be artillery. And roll the second hit because I actually didn't do the math. Oh shit. Okay. And then Smut HQ was hit again, like accurate fire. Hit again by artillery from like over the on the horizon or over the horizon. And authorities dispatched, right? AV4s, the combat cab, everything's dispatched. Over the time of your trip, you find out that most of the building was completely evacuated when the hits landed. But they did accurately hit the building twice. And by the time the authorities got to the artillery, it was alone. And there weren't any engines or anything like that attached to it. And there wasn't anybody found on it.
Boy. This place sucks. That's all you get over the comms.
There's a huge manhunt going on. There's vehicle tracks leaving the scene. They're following those tracks. Yeah. Helios is on the run. You guys make it down the line. You make it through the Scaven tunnel.
Holy crap, I was so ready for a gunfight.
And Scaven don't fuck with y'all.
Too many
All the traps and all that stuff are cinched up, pulled up against the wall. Do y'all mess with the door in the tunnel that goes into the Scaven thing? Okay.
Thing stopping.
No, your
stay
train's
on
not stopping.
their
I just want to
side.
know if y'all get off to deal with this thing.
Nope.
I mean,
Nope,
if anybody
they
pokes
stay
their
there,
head out, they're gonna get what they
they're
get.
gonna get
but-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I feel like they've learned their lesson by now.
Does
like, oh, man,
Silas
better not look out that door.
does Silas come up to the front?
Yeah, he'd probably mosey on back that way.
So I guess at some point to Oz and Silas, Vi's just gonna ask, did we do enough?
Enough what?
To get them to not hit Sacramento? Should we have stopped them?
I can't. Or I couldn't have. Just makes me a hypocrite.
Would you have?
Stopped him? No.
Why not?
I understand his point of view. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Right.
We did what we could, and we thought we solved the problem. If we'd have known they were going to do it, maybe we would have fought a little harder. But we were fairly certain that they were going to be going along with everything okay.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, you do all that you can to solve the problem, and when the problem looks like it's solved, then you don't keep worrying at the same problem after it's been solved. In this instance, Helios played us on that part.
Yeah. Let's get us home, Oz.
Okay.
I think that's where we wrap chapter 2. Because at this point, you have a train full of well-trained, armed protectors. You're going to make it to Night City. We have some in-character chatter to do because it's going to be a long ride, right? Gran still wants to have tea. So we'll do that. We'll probably do that in the chats, kind of, between sessions.
Question.
Yes, sir.
What was the chance that those 2 security guards were also with those 6, so I can interact with
What security guards? Which ones?
the ones that know who me and Ta are?
Oh, odds are good that the whole security team knows the guy who died, right? I mean, they all probably know the guy who died, but the people who saw Ta and Vinton, those specifically the shooters, those are probably still with the family because they weren't foremen, right? The 2 like big bruisers that fell in on Gran when you shot her, those guys are probably with Helios's crew, right? But the guy who shot you is probably still with the family. I mean, out of character, there's no way for you to know that kind of stuff, but like,
Right.
just
right.
the way I have it in my head, the way they're structured.
Yeah.
It was the foremen specifically that was the camp that wanted revenge, and in whatever transpired, Helios was not either interested or not able to change that outcome, because it was him with like 4 or 5 other people, right? And they all had input on what was going to happen. But yeah. So Smud, next day is we will rebuild, right? Is all that stuff. All that gets plastered everywhere, but yeah, the family itself, almost immediately, like Sam's reaction is almost a uniform reaction amongst the family. That was a hardliner faction that was causing a lot of frustration for the family, and the family's pretty upset that they decided to do what they did. Just to give you all that insight to the rest of the Big Iron family, they kind of lost their Warhawks here, and they are pretty upset that it happened, but they kind of understand that there's not much that they could have done to stop it because they weren't there to talk to Helios or try and talk them down. They were all in their other cars doing their other jobs, kind of thing. None of them were there or present. So
At least hopefully they heard me try.
maybe. You were on the channel that team uses. So it's possible that the family had somebody listening in, but kind of doubt it. For me, it makes more sense that nobody was listening in and you were having more of a private conversation.
10-4.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, did we hear anyone else from the family try to get in touch with Helios and them after they disconnect?
No. No.
Huh.
Nope. Nobody tried to. I mean, you all don't like. Those are old walkie talkies, right? So it's not like something that you normally listen in on. It's not something that the train can listen in on because this is like old tech. But you
But
aren't
I hear
aware of anybody. Yeah. I mean, for most of the cars, you can hear like all the stuff that's being said. The problem that you have is you have thousands of conversations to sift through. Not thousands, but
Right.
like hundreds to sift through. So it would have been really tough for Oz to have like heard that, but you didn't hear anything specific or nothing too desperate or anything like really percolated up saying that the family was like trying to pull out all the stops to stop Helios and his crew. Odds are that discussion already happened.
Okay.
You know, like that was something that the family's been debating on for weeks at this point. And yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, everyone over on Twitter, on Twitch, thanks a ton for tuning in. This will conclude Chapter 2. We are going to pick up back in Night City. Before we do that, though, we're going to spend a couple of weekends doing little vignettes, little looks into the goings-on of Night City and all of that stuff. And yeah, we will pick it up from there. So, everyone at home, thanks a ton for tuning in. And as always, have fun and play well.
May all your rolls be crits.